Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you're all well. Hope you're doing fine, and still trying to fight off this lockdown boredom. But the end is in sight. So usual deal. Let me know what you want to talk about. Any questions below in the comment section or the messenger, wherever it is, or depending on what device you're watching it on. I can see there's a number of you that have already commented and asked questions, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But as always, please hit that thumbs up button. It really does help with the analytics, and share this channel, share the sport, and reach as many people as possible. But let me know what burning questions you have or any topics. I was going through all of the various news pieces sort of for the week gone, and it's been a fairly quiet week apart from everything with COVID-19. So I guess we'll get straight into that. And I know a number of people have already sort of asked. I can see in the messengers about it, and I think it was Stephen Wolf. So saying that the NRA has said that they're going to open up the ranges from the 23rd of May. And I just want to make it clear for anyone that's in doubt, it's not going to be as it was, certainly for the foreseeable future. There's going to be various distancing measures in place. I would imagine certain disciplines are going to struggle due to the proximities. You know, certainly disciplines like practical shooting that requires you to have an RO. If the RO has to be a minimum of 2 meters away from you at all times, that is probably going to cause some issues. But I would say for like gallery shooting, long distance target shooting, stuff like that. But in answer to your question, Stephen, have any other clubs announced that they're going to open up? Well, I know Kentucky Firearms Club are incredibly keen to get going. Unfortunately, they did have to cancel the Mion Valley practical shotgun match that they've already had to postpone a few times because of the virus and lockdown and everything. So I'm sure they will open up as quickly as possible, but then they are predominantly based at Bisley, so they're probably going to book a range day, I would imagine, as quickly as possible. I know that the CPSA have also basically said that they think from next week they could be opening up. There was a little bit of sort of confusion because none of the releases from the government have specified shooting and actually categorically stated shooting. They say things like pursuits like angling. Now, I would say that shooting is very, very similar to angling. And they've said that you can go out and do outdoor sports in no more than twos if you're from different households. So to me, that sort of already confirms it. And sort of lo and behold, there was one various organization, I can't remember which one it was, and they've gone and said, oh, you know, we're going to go and ask, we're going to, you know, sort of go and ask permission. And I'm thinking, well, no, like, you're the national governing, well, not the, I don't think they're a national governing body, but just tell us, you know, you make the decision. Stop like begging for permission. We are a sport just like anyone else, just because they've forgotten us off the list once again. So no, like, I think you can read between the lines with what the arrangements are with lockdown. You can go out onto an outdoor range with 2 people. Of course, you know, I don't, you know, that's my opinion. That's my interpretation of it. There are, say, smarter people, more, let's say, legally literate people out there, but I really don't see why they're, you know, seeking clarification. To me, I think it's pretty clear already. But yes, the CPSA have said that playgrounds are hopefully going to be opening by next week. Again, they're seeking clarification, so you don't know. We should be able to you know, get some normal shooting back in, hopefully, in the near future. The funny thing, though, I can see it being an absolute rush to playgrounds and ranges. So all of these social distance measures initially in the first week or two are going to be incredibly hard to implement, because you are just going to have swarms of people that have been cooped up on you know, indoors, cleaning their guns for God knows how long, and they're going to want to get out there and shoot. You know, heck, I want to, you know, run down the playground as well. Luckily, fortunately for what we do here with English Shooting, Gunroom TV, and Blue Field Sports, we do need to use the range for work. I know that's, you know, maybe a bit contradictory, range and work, but there are various things that we do need to do. So we've been fairly lucky over the quarantine and lockdown period that we've still been able to go out the range. We haven't done any recreational shooting or any training. It's purely to go out there and film and make videos and do work. So, you know, you get some trigger time from it. But hopefully everyone else will be able to get back out on the range as soon as possible. Sorry, bear with me one sec. Next time I'll remember to take the chewing gum out my mouth before I start the stream. But yes, yeah, so in terms of individual ranges, in terms of ranges across the country, I haven't seen anyone else, but obviously the NRA are going to be opening up, and I would imagine all of the playgrounds will as well. You know, don't get me wrong, I mean, businesses like playgrounds, they are going to want to open up literally the second that they are allowed to, because they are businesses. You know, they've got staff, they've got costs and overheads, and they need to start getting money back in to survive. I would say maybe some of the rifle and pistol clubs where they're, you know, I would say membership owned, maybe they don't have the same sort of liability and won't have the same desperation to open up. So you might see pistol and rifle clubs sort of lagging behind the playgrounds, but you know, some shooting's better than none. But yeah, as I said, guys, let's, you know, chat away, whatever topics or questions you wanna talk about. And if there's anybody that you know that might be interested in joining, you know, any American friends that want to learn more about UK gun laws, then give this a share on Facebook or wherever you want, Twitter, Instagram. Share it far and wide and see how many people we can get chatting. So before we started, Xbox One Geeks asked if the Rock Island Armory VR80 is available here within the UK, and if not, what mag-fed shotgun would I recommend that you can get in the UK? So I did see that Carl said he's pretty sure it's available here, maybe under a different name, the Typhoon and Derriere, and I'll get to those two in a second. So I went and looked at the website for the VR80. I don't actually know if it is a Typhoon or a Derriere, sort of under a different name, but listed on their website it says it has a 20-inch barrel, which unfortunately wouldn't be UK legal. So I only had a quick look before the stream started, so I don't know if they make a UK specific model with a longer barrel. If they do, then it would be legal and you would be able to get one here, but if they don't, if it is only the 20-inch barrel spec that they make, then unfortunately it's not going to be available. But aside from that, in terms of box feds, I haven't had much experience with the Derriere, although it does look incredibly impressive, but I always thought the UTAS looked incredibly impressive. That's one to avoid straight away, is the UTAS. Don't go anywhere near it unless you're getting one from Kerry Ellis at Tactical Solutions down in Dorset. He was part of, I think, the original team that brought them in to the UK, was some of the first to start selling them. And obviously everyone knows that the UTAS stands for useless, Turkish and shit. They're just endless issues with them. And Kerry Ellis has said that he's modified them. He gets them absolutely running like a dream. And sort of funny enough, a lot of the top level open shooters within IPSC, within the UK PSA matches here, they actually run heavily modified UTASs, but it's sort of like the JM Pro 930 that Joe Michalak used to use. None of the gun is the same. Everything has been replaced. It's not standard, and you know, there's a lot of time and work that goes into making them work. So I'd avoid the UTAS. A lot of people have had success with the Typhoon. I know Maglo sponsored shooter Ben Ducker used to have a Typhoon and was doing really well with that. Unfortunately, most box feds do seem to have some general reliability issues. So if you say that a box fed shotgun runs well, it means it probably jammed only once or twice during a match. But if a money no object solution for box fed, if you've got £5,500, £6,500 burning a hole in your pocket, then I would highly rate the Dissident Arms KL12. And actually keeping an eye on Dissident Arms, they've released, Kalashnikov have actually released a sort of a basic 12 gauge box fed shotgun. And I don't know if it's in collaboration with Dissident, but certainly Dissident have picked it up, and it's a much cheaper option. So the KL12 I think starts at about £4,500. By the time you get it to a competition spec, you're talking 5.5, and I know plenty of people that have paid £6,000 plus by the time it lands here in the UK, and I think you get hit with something like £1,000 in duty for it. So it's absolutely mental, but yeah, the Dissident by far is the most reliable box fed that I've seen on the market. Another actually quite affordable option is the Armsan RS1. I think it's the RS1, and that one's actually being tested by a number of top level box fed open shooters on the UK PSA circuit here. So that's a big endorsement. It's obviously sort of an AK platform. It needs a lot of modification to get it up to competition spec. All of the controls are in the wrong place. It's quite difficult to manipulate, but if budget's a real option, I would highly recommend the Armsan. There is actually a video I think on the channel, or I might have taken that down because that's what Sean O'Neill picked up on with the times. No, I think I left it up. I think I took it down for like 2 days and then thought, no, sod him, I haven't done anything wrong, so I put it back up. So yeah, if you want to go check out that, I did a sort of a very short review at the time. I wasn't able to shoot it, so and actually thinking about it, I've got one. Well, I haven't got one. There's one in the Bluefield Sports Armoury, so maybe this week, next week, I'll go out and film a review of that for you if you're really interested in sort of more box fed shotguns. But yeah, basically budget option, Armsan, sort of middle of the road, Typhoon, loads of people like those, and money no object Dissident KL12, or look at the cheaper sort of Kalashnikov variant that's just come out. So a few options there for a wide variety of different price brackets. And just seen my mum's here. Hi mum, #1 fan of course, as always. Colin Rick Goss, were you able to make your application? So no, I still haven't applied for my FAC and SGC, and actually you've just reminded me because I do periodically check it. So let's spin the wheel and see if Hampshire Firearms are taking any new applications at the moment. So this has been the hold up for me. I'm sure many of you are already aware that the 1st of May was agreed for me to reapply, and I've been waiting very, very patiently for the 1st of May. 1st of May comes along, COVID-19, firearm department shut, just my luck. But as I have discussed previously, I'm now a servant of Bluefield Sports, so you know I can go out and shoot stuff for the RFD, and of course film for promotion and advertising and stuff like that. So oh no, I clicked the wrong button. Let's have a look. So I'm not too disheartened. It's there's the review of the PPQ that I put out there, and obviously a video that I'm going to talk about that was out last night about shooting Section 1 shotguns. So I'm just checking. I want to do those for those, and the survey says no, they're shut. So no, I haven't had a chance. As soon as that website opens up and as soon as they start taking applications, I will apply. And of course I'm still going to be documenting every step, so there will be further videos to that process, and I'll probably make a nice playlist so you can follow the whole step-by-step process for anyone that's thinking of getting getting your firearm certificate or shotgun certificate in the future. That's what I'm all about making it as clear and simple to follow as possible, so everyone can do it, everyone can get into the sport, and everyone can have an FAC and an SGC if you're a suitable person. Mochaccino, hi Mochaccino, he's probably my #1 troller, or maybe that should go to Mr. Daniel Smerald, who I'm sure will be here. There he is, I've seen him. Hi Dan, how's it going? So let's see what you guys are talking about and any questions. Carl Volt, seen the PARS IPSC slugs, very short length, claim to increase capacity. That's going to be interesting. No, I haven't seen them. I mean, if they hit that here in the UK, I'm sure I will if it does give a competitive advantage. It doesn't take very long for the top level shooters to adapt to new technologies to give them the competitive edge. So, but no, I haven't seen or heard anything yet. So let me rough ranges. So Ricardo is saying, don't know if Welsh Rangers will open up. We've been given another 3 weeks of lockdown. Yeah, that's the disparity within the UK. Obviously, they are, Scotland, England, and Wales are technically separate countries in a way. Are they? Yeah, I guess. Um, and then that's demonstrating my knowledge of geography, right? But yeah, they've all got different policies. So I know that Scotland sort of has a different policy to us, but yeah, I don't know. It's confusing as it is already for just England, and I think they've done that very purposely. I don't think it's necessarily a conspiracy, but I genuinely think that the government wants people to well, obviously they've said they want people to try and get back to normal, but they can't really say to people, yeah, just go about your normal lives, because if loads of people get ill, then they're going to get the finger pointed at them. So I think they've been deliberately vague. I've seen various funny videos. One Matt Lucas impersonating Boris Johnson, and it was like, yeah, go out, stay in, go to work, but stay in. We'll try and work from home, but go back to work. And I think that's very deliberate. Like, everyone's treating him like an idiot, and I think he's being very, very smart. He's letting people sort of make their own interpretation of things, so that if shit hits the fan, basically, they can go, oh, well, we told you to stay in. Yeah, but you also told us to go out. Well, anyway, typical sort of politician strategy there. Got Ethan just about to submit my FAC application. My club advised that I only apply for one of each, a 2.2, 2.23 and 3.08. I enjoy plinking and long range. How long should I leave it before applying for more 2.2 slots? I think your club, if I'm going to be honest, is doing you a little bit of a disservice. I know for first time applicants, firearm departments don't like huge lists of guns, but for my first time application, I think I came away with 7 or 8, and I don't remember any being refused. I think I had at least 2, maybe 3 2.2s on my initial application. Definitely at least 2, and they didn't batter an eyelid, because I was able to justify every single one of the guns, and I went away with it. So I wouldn't ordinarily go, I'd say, sort of any more than 10 for an initial application, but just 3, that's personally, I think that's far too low. If you have a need and a justification for more 2.2s, I would definitely put a couple of more 2.2s on there. Now, of course, you need your club to support your application, and obviously each gun you need. So if they've advised you, well, I would just say to them, like, look, if I apply for more, are you going to support me in it? Because you might do precision 2.2, you might do some practical mini rifle, you might do some gallery. Well, there's 3 guns straight away, 3 very different guns as well in setup. So yeah, you could definitely apply for more than 3 on your first application. I really wouldn't worry about it. If you are, well, I would saying how long should you leave it? Well, don't leave it. Apply straight away. If for whatever reason, if your club isn't going to support that, if your FEO does really dislike it, then 6 months, a year. I mean, I don't know. If you've got the justification, you've got the justification for it. Either you're a fit person or you're not. That's the way I see it. Of course, I made a video saying that I intend to apply for 18 firearms on my FAC when I put in my application. My case is a little different because I have previously had was that Nala? I think Nala's trying to get in. So, I have previously had a firearms certificate. I do a lot of shooting on a day-to-day basis, and I'm full-time within the gun industry. So, I did caveat that video saying, like, don't think that's potentially the norm, but again, I can justify every single one of those guns. So, and at the end of the day I work in a gun shop, so if they have an issue with me having access to copious amounts of guns, well, too late. So Stephen Wolf, the problem is gun shops are non-essential businesses. How will people get ammo? So again, this is, I think, some of the confusion that's going on. A lot of people are saying that no businesses were actually told to close, and the way that we've interpreted it in terms of gun shops is that gun shops weren't specifically told to close, and actually in a way they are essential, because you have essential pest controllers, you have essential workers that require a firearm to do their job, be that keepers, pest controllers, professional stalkers, and they need to buy ammo, they need to have their gun service, if something goes wrong, or buy a scope if their one breaks, something like that. So the onus is actually on, it's not necessarily on the shop, it's on the person. So it's about the person, as far as, again, I can interpret and what I believe, it's down to the FAC holder. So if a gun shop opens up and an FAC holder makes that journey down to that shop and then they get caught on the way, the gun shop's not going to get in trouble because they're a business, people are allowed to be there as part of their work. It's the person that has made that unnecessary journey. So with ranges opening up, with the NRA opening up, with potentially playgrounds opening up, again, that sort of justifies why you would need a gun shop. And at the end of the day, there are many shops that have been opened throughout all of this, which I would very much deem as non-essential. So I don't see any reason now for gun shops to be shut. I can see there being an issue with people being able to justify actually making the trip. And it looks like Nala was just messing about, so I'll shut the window, but she probably will appear again shortly. And thank you for the share, Stephen. So anyone joining, if you want to share this, please do. Anywhere on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I don't know really how you would share a live stream on Instagram as a link. Instagram's quite funny like that. So yeah, Ethan was just following on what we were talking about. You said 6 months. Yeah, I mean, you're saying giving more time to prove yourself in terms of again, if you're being able to apply for an FAC, you've already proven yourself. Again, what are you going to do with, say, 6 guns that you can't go and do with 3 guns? Especially a 2.2. I mean, if you were going there and asking for like 4 or 5 308s, like, that's going to raise some eyebrows. But pretty much everyone I know has at least two 2.2 slots on their FACs. So I don't know. It depends where your area is as well. So Daniel Smerald, just waiting for information about Sevenside to open. Please let me know when it is, because I would very much like to visit and do some longer range shooting. Mark Valentine, the clubs need to be more bullish. The government and media have made us scared of our own shadows, and we're unable to do anything without being told. I completely agree. I mean, again, I think it's quite clear what the guidance has now been changed to, and we should just stop asking permission. If people can go and fish, if people can go and do water sports, if people can go and do outdoor sports, shooting on an outdoor range, I don't know why that needs classifying. Again, it's sort of servant and master mentality. DATV, what can you use a 370 and a 308 for? Well, 308 can be used for a variety of things, from target shooting, long range shooting, hunting as well, and I believe 270 is more of a hunting round. Again, not a huge hunter myself, but I'm sure anyone else that is can answer that. So I've got, again, you got to remember, guys, that I am on a delay, so I am trying to catch up, but I catch up with all your comments. You're a talkative bunch tonight, which is good. Keep it coming. Keeps me from having to fill the space, which usually doesn't end well. Oh, I've lost it. It's shot off to oblivion. I lost where I was. And there was an interesting comment as well. Where was it? Again, Mark Valentine, lever actions. What's your favourite, and is there a place for a 30 or 30 or in the UK? I don't know. I haven't actually ever seen one. I don't think. I mean, it would be legal. Any caliber of lever action here in the UK is legal. So, in terms of my favourite, I just have to be very predictable, and it's got to be the Marlin 1895 in 4570. That it's just a beast of a gun. It's sexy as hell to look at. It's incredibly comfortable to shoot. Surprisingly comfortable to shoot. So yeah, I mean that would be my pick, and I can't remember what, I think I talked about it in the video where I talked about what I was going to apply for, but I would love to get the 4570. However, with one already being in the gun room as a demo gun, like I already have access to one if I really need it for a video, and they're just horrendously expensive to feed. So I personally, whilst I would want the 4570 more, I'd probably go for a 357 and 44 or 44 and save a bit of money. And coincidentally, we do actually have a Marlin 1894 in 44 Magnum in the gun room at the moment, and there's going to be a video on Gunroom TV about that. It's actually about the Form rifle stock's upgrade stock. So if you're interested in that gun, if you're interested in the stock, then keep an eye out on Gunroom TV. Basically, there will be a video very, very shortly, and actually I do have a video in edit where I think I'm shooting it as well. Just lovely guns, high quality, really, really reliable. Although it's a lever gun, like anything that's manually actuated is going to be fairly reliable. So Stephen Wolf, yeah, UTAS is rubbish. I used to have one, however, I've seen good ones modified heavily. Yeah, that's same as what I've seen. Point Blank Simulator saying you signed up to Patreon. Thank you very much. Of course, EnglishShooting does have a Patreon account if you do want to support the channel in that way. And actually, that's a nice segue. So I'm probably our Daniel Smerritt, if he makes an OnlyFans, I'll get a subscription. Can I make it like £1 million to view? Anyway, on to the dirty talk already, Daniel. It's not even past 8 yet. Come on, or 9. Is 9 the watershed? But yes, thank you very much, Paul. Really appreciate that. Of course, the channel in recent weeks has been treated very, very well from donations during these live streams. Specifically, somebody called Richard and somebody called Kyle. I think they both made more donations than I've ever seen for the channel. So if you want to support the live stream now on the channel now, of course, everything goes back into the channel. And on that note, if you've been watching the EnglishShooting Facebook page, if you saw the video that I put out yesterday shooting a practical shotgun, you might have guessed that the camera that I've been going on about with Connors and Alex have probably been going on about this for a good 18 months, and it's a Sony A7 III Mark III, and it's an awesome bit of kit. Comes highly recommended from loads of people, and went out with it for the first time a couple of days ago and filmed that video. Actually, I did, very erratic tonight, I did, being fairly prepared, put up a shortened video. So I'm just gonna show you what this camera can do, and anyone that's been watching this channel for a while, hopefully it's worth it and you're going to see a much bigger difference. But the thing to really pay attention to is going to be the focus, because the 700D autofocus is like 6 years old and it just never works. But also the slow-mo. I mean, it's not true slow-mo, but here we go. I'll put it up for anyone that hasn't seen it. So Connors and I went out, we had some testing to do, so there's been some modifications to the guns that we're shooting, and we're just checking that they function correctly, but also wanted to test the camera out and get used to it as quickly as possible. But I was absolutely blown away by the footage. It's like absolute night and day difference. Of course, watching it on a live stream, it's not going to be as nice as if you go and actually watch the full video. But the slow-mo shots, it just adds, well, Connor's said it adds another dimension to the video, and I completely agree with him. And the thing is, this is the first time that I'd switch the camera on and press play. Just so nice and like natural to use. So yeah, very, very happy with it. I apologize if the bangs are a bit loud. Let's turn those down a little bit maybe. But yeah, as you can see, of course, I'm shooting Section 1 shotguns as well. Not too unhappy with how how my quad loads are going. Obviously a lot to improve on, but I haven't been able to do that for a number of years here in the UK. So just need to, you know, once lockdown is lifted, basically get more practice done. So yeah, that's I think about half of the actual video, and obviously I did it to music. So if you want to see the full video, go and check that out after the live stream. But I was, as I said, it was really, really oh god, I've just it really, really impressed me. And on that note, Carl, you're a madman, and Xbox One geeks as well. So when I do anything with the screens, I have to pop up another screen, and it hid that, so I completely missed those donations popping up. So thank you very, very much. Of course, there are still lots of things to buy for this. I've got to get some more lenses. I've got to get a monitor display for it, a cage for it, and I mean, it wasn't the cheapest. I think the total sort of invoice receipt was about £1,900, which was very, very painful. So, you know, anyone that might doubt if the money goes back into the channel, well, for anyone that's kept a record of all the donations over the last few weeks, you're going to see there's probably a bit of a disparity. And I think, you know, I had to make up the rest of that on my own, but obviously I get monthly ad payments from Google, so it all sort of balances out. But yeah, this thing, 120 FPS, 4K, it's just going to absolutely transform the videos. Funnily enough, though, I don't think I'm going to be uploading in 4K, maybe not for the short term, certainly, because what 4K actually allows me more in the edit is to firstly shoot in a much wider with a much wider lens, so I can capture more of the action. And then if there's something going on in the corner, being 4K, I can crop it down to 1080, and it's obviously going to maintain quality. So really the biggest things are autofocus. And actually, while I'm at it, I know some of you absolutely hate me talking about the gear. I know some of you do, but it's a new toy. Like, I promise I haven't slept with it yet. But I'll show you the full rig. So for those of you that have seen me running around shows, you would have definitely seen this. But this is a DJI gimbal. It's the Ronin SC. I'm probably going to make an absolute tit of myself doing this live on the live stream, but I'll show you the rig. It's quite a snazzy bit of kit. So that's why. Sorry, move that out of the way. Oh, thank you very much, Stephen. Stephen Wolf there. Really, really appreciated. As I said, there's still more to buy, so it's all very much appreciated. Is that all on? So I think that's all set. So I'll show you this. So obviously it's a gimbal. It keeps it nice and steady. That's why the video is really, really smooth. And it takes out, you know, running around, which obviously for like practical dynamic sports is part and parcel of when you're filming. You're always running about and doing various maneuvers to get all of the footage and all of the angles. But the real party trick to this, like, please don't go wrong. This is when it just flips over and I break the camera and break everything and then just go and have a really big cry. Let's see if that, there we go. So obviously got my phone. Let's see, get that. So it will follow the phone. I haven't actually found a proper use for it yet. Apart from I've seen online that a lot of people will mount the phone in a big rig, so you're actually there, you know, moving it. And of course it moves with me. So if I was to put my phone in my pocket, maybe it would follow me. You can also mount the mount the phone on the camera and use the camera to track people. And I'm really excited for a lot of practical shooting that we do, because I can put the camera down range, select the subject, and then it's just going to follow them all through the sort of maze of stages. But it does other things, so you can manually control it as well. So you've got a joystick. So again, I can put it down range, put it somewhere where you're not going to be able to stand for a cameraman, and I can control it and get some really cool footage. So I've wanted that set up for at least a year, and I think it's going to absolutely, elevate the videos and the content, which is all for you guys. But of course, you guys did very much help me on the way to getting that. There's no way I would have it now. You certainly expedited that. So again, I'm really appreciative of it, because I want to produce the best content possible. And as I keep saying, the 700D 5-6 years old, so massively out of date. And I just want to grow the channel as large as it can be, and I think a big part of that is the quality of the content. But that's it for anyone that's bored of tech and all that. I'll move on and keep it about guns. But as I said, I know a number of you are very interested in the gear, and it's only right that I show you what you've helped pay for as well. So that's one out of the sort of out of the way. So back onto guns. So let's catch up with your comments. I see Neil's here from Rack and Load. Hi Neil, thanks for joining. WebTac is a good box fed. If that's the gun that I'm thinking, I think it is, I would heavily disagree. I can't remember what it was, but we had a gun arrive here ages ago. We were planning on making a video of it. It was the box fed 12 gauge bullpup shotgun. I can't remember the make or model of it, but it came in rusty. And I don't mean like just a little bit of surface rust that it might have picked up overnight in a cold delivery van. Like every bloody part of it had rust on it. It was like all the controls were sharp. It was just absolutely disgusting. And we just said to ourselves, if any of us make a video on this, it's just going to be tearing it to pieces. So I think Alex actually just sent the gun back. It was like, there's no point putting any time in it. But I don't know if that was actually the WebTac. If it was, then unfortunately I think it's an absolute pile of junk. So Mancu Man, last video was great, made you miss shooting. Well, thank you. Well, I'm sorry about making you miss shooting, but yeah, thank you for liking the video. Daniel Smell missed that. Who's the #1 troller? I don't know. You and Arius, you're probably in a tied position. Don't get me wrong, Daniel. Like, I know you can out troll Arius. I've seen what happens when you go on a trolling binge. You're just probably on the whole nicer to me than Arius is. Like every other comment he posts on the channel is sarcasm to the max. Burge, I got my SGC application sent off just before COVID, and then had a call a few weeks back from the FEO saying he wanted to cancel and apply in 12 months' time. Jesus. Is that because of COVID, or was that any or another reason which you might not want to disclose, obviously, on a live stream? Xbox One geeks, will you be looking at the new CZ long barrel pistols? Absolutely. So there's a video on the channel back at the British Shooting Show. Shield Sights just dropped it, like came from absolutely nowhere. If you want to go and learn a bit more about the CZ long barrel pistol, just type it in on English Shooting and you'll find it. But yeah, it dropped out of nowhere. Now, to give credit to Cotswold Classic Arms, I always get Cotswold Classic Arms and Caledonian Classic Arms mixed up, but I'm pretty sure it's Cotswold that are bringing in the CZ. I mean, Otto usually pops up here, so if he is, hi Otto, thanks for joining, and just confirm for me. So it was, I'm pretty sure, Cotswold Classic Arms that originally you know, sort of showed that there was going to be a CZ long barrel pistol here, and then Shield. Well, I don't think either of them have actually beat anyone to market yet. I think they've just sort of released it to show people. So, you know, whoever gets to the market first is obviously going to get an edge. But we have to see which one comes available. But whichever one becomes available first, or whoever sends one to me first, will get the first video out of it, because I'm absolutely dying to try that out. I know Connor's is, because he loves the CZ. Every time we've gone abroad and shot pistols, he's picked up the CZ and absolutely loves it. So yes, it will be on the channel. I am very much looking forward to it, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to get both of them in at the same time, and then I can compare them, because they are, you know, subtly different, or in some ways very very different. So yeah, another option to the market. I'm still probably gonna buy a PPQ when I get my FAC. I'm just very, very set on that gun. Really impressed me when I took it out for the first time, well, a week or two ago now. Paul from Well Gun Owners Association: do you get a royalty payment for my shotgun's appearance without me? It's fine. I'll add it to my bill for promotion of Well Gun Owners Association. You know, it might balance out, but you never know. Stephen Wolf, hey, Connors is here. I haven't seen him. Is he lurking here? Is Connors here? I don't know. He normally turns up, although this time is usually his dinner time, and food obviously comes first. But yeah, hopefully I join later on. Richard Weston, thank you very much for joining, as always. Another big donator, although, you know, sitting there with the £100 donation from Carl. Of course, we've had others as well. But yeah, Richard, again, big thank you, and Carl, and everyone that's donated, for helping increase the equipment and quality of the videos. Where's Nala? I did hear her try to get into the window. It's quite funny, because there's a, where is it? Which way? So there's a little ledge there, the other side of the window, so she can like hop up onto it, but then she's sort of like scrambling for dear life until I open the window. So every now and then she'd jump up unsuccessfully, and then she thought, well, sod this, and goes off. Goes off and does her own thing, but she'll be back. She's always back. She loves the camera too much. Chris Smith, use common sense, generally something missing in the UK public. Yep, completely agree with that. And also asking, is Mr. Kiddle on tonight? He does usually join as well. I haven't seen him in the comments already, but if he is there, hi David. Of course, David, for anyone who has been out to, you know, on American shooting trips out to the States, he will, you know, you'll know who Mr. Kill is, and anyone from Kentucky Firearms Club as well. Daniel Smerald, will we see a mag load hand sanitizer? Yeah, it's Maglube. Like, hello, didn't you know that Maglube has antibacterial properties, and definitely shouldn't be used as sexual lubricant, that's for sure. I don't know, have I shown you guys that? I always forget what I've talked about and what I've shown you in previous live streams, but there's the official Magload condom, because of course, you know, we want to promote safe sex and, you know, being responsible, and it's paired, as it says, you know, for best results, use with Maglube. But please don't use Maglube as a sexual lubricant. We cannot afford the lawsuit. Oh, and Mochaccino said it anyway, it doubles as lube. It doesn't, like, honestly, it doesn't. Like, please don't use it. I mean, if you do use it as a sexual lubricant, please let us know how it goes, but we do not advise it. M. Gabriel, if approval is left to the discretion rather than legal qualifications, there is a bias towards not issuing licenses due to the officer not wanting to be seen as responsible if something happens. I guess you were talking about something else. I don't know. Maybe I've missed a bit of that conversation. Joshua Wisdom. I'm hoping to apply for an FAC. However, I shoot on my own private land and hope to get a 2.2 and a 357. Would you think a firearms officer may not approve the 357 for rabbit hunting and targets? I mean, I might be wrong here, but 357 for rabbits, I mean, you know, I always make the joke, dead is dead, but a 357 on a rabbit, it's going to be very dead. You sure you don't want a 44? Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm not hugely au fait with hunting. Maybe 357 is the perfect round for rabbit hunting. I don't think it is. I think it might be a little bit overkill. So, I mean, the 2.2 is perfect, absolutely perfect. I mean, you know, people will use WMR, HMR as well on rabbits. I know that. But yeah, 357 on rabbits. That's gonna be pushing it. I mean, I don't hear of many people using 357 for hunting in the UK. Again, anyone that does, please correct me. I'm sure there are some circumstances of it, but no, it's not something I think is going to be too common. So yeah, you might have issues with that, but please correct me, anyone that is more knowledgeable on hunting. Richard Weston, rather disappointing that the Basque advice didn't cover target clay shooting. Well, to be honest, I have to. Whilst I like to relay things back to you guys, I have made a conscious effort to not be constantly sharing all the COVID-19 stuff, because there's loads of other pages out there. There's loads of other people sharing it, and I see the same stuff, you know, over and over again. And I've just thought over this period, probably the last thing you want to be doing is talking about it. I know we talk about it a lot in the live streams, but in terms of general videos, I think I made one about it, and then, you know, I did the lockdown sort of range video. But I just want to produce, you know, forget about it content, if you know what I mean. You know, you just want to forget about the real world for 10 minutes, focus on a cool shooting video, or hopefully you think it's cool. I don't know. So yeah, I mean, and Basque as well, I'm still a Basque member because I need all the legal cover that I can get. But again, I've really switched off to what they're saying, to be honest. It's just, you know, I'm not surprised. I'm honestly not surprised that they've completely neglected target, well, you know, shooting sports rather than just hunting. But yeah, again, Basque is, you know, Basque does have the power to look up and say to everyone, look, we're going to take this one on the chin. We think you should go out and shoot. That's what it needs. Instead of, you know, if they're going to sit there and wait for the government to get back to them, they're going to be waiting longer than any other sport. So, you know, why doesn't Basque or, you know, the CPSA or, you know, all of the other councils or organisations, why don't they just look up and make the, you know, take the initiative and go, no, as far as we can see this, go and shoot. But yeah, again, please, you know, I'm only offering my opinion here. So, you know, if you do go out, you know, I'm not an organisation, I'm not a legal expert. If you do go out because of anything I've said and you get into trouble, like, it's my opinion. You know, I'm fairly confident on what people can and can't do, but still, please use your head. And, you know, your actions are a consequence of your, what's the expression? Whatever happens is basically down to you, isn't it? Most of you are switched on adults. I say most of you. There are a couple of people in this group and live stream tonight that I wouldn't apply that to, but we won't name names, shall we? Richard Weston, I bet you use a big pad on your shoulder for the 4570. Nope. The standard back pad that comes on that gun, specifically the Marlin 4570. I haven't shot any others, but the Marlin 4570. If someone wants to buy me 100 rounds or pay for 100, well, I technically guess Carl has already done that tonight. Thanks again, Carl. But maybe I should just do that. How much? I mean, that's got to, like, 100 rounds has got to be like 150 quid. But I would happily shoot, and you can quote me and you can hold it to me. If someone wants to provide me with 100 rounds of 4570, I will shoot non-stop that 100 rounds. And I can promise you it won't be painful. Like, it would just be a joy. I'll get to shoot 100 rounds of 4570 for free. The Marlin is just, it's not an uncomfortable gun to shoot. I would happily, you know, let a first-time shooter shoot it. And, you know, I really do hate it when you see all of these videos where they've given their, you know, £100 wet girl, you know, in the wet girl, you know what I'm trying to say. £100 girlfriend, a 12 gauge, and then she falls on her ass. That's not a good introduction to shooting. You're going to put her off for life. But I would happily let a new shooter shoot a 45-70 Marlin. It just is so comfortable to shoot. Yes, Dad, I do remember you used to have the 500 Smith & Wesson on your ticket. Never bought the big Horn Armory rifles. They'd be £6 a pop. I mean, it's worth it. Just do it, mate. Just do it. Sod all my rationale of not buying a 45-70. Just buy the 100, 500 even. So Xbox One geeks again talking about the CZ. Do I know anything about it? No, as at the moment, no, I haven't. You know, I talk to Otto fairly regularly, and actually, nice segue into something else that I'll get onto in a second. But yeah, I don't know. I keep asking him, like, when are you going to send one down to me? When are you going to send one down to me? And they only have two, I think, in the country at the moment. And one of them, or I think even both of them, got absolutely mashed at last year's Target Shooting Show, because obviously you have thousands of people all day long going up to it. What do? Rack, click, rack, click, rack, click. And he said the firing pin was just like, it was destroyed. So you know, he obviously, if he sends ones down, he wants them to work. So I just think at the moment they're still in the development phase. You know, they've let people had a bit of a tease of it, but nothing more than that. And Shield, I actually sent an email to James White of Shield. He's one of the directors there, one of the owners, because of course I've got Daniel's, and you know, I showed you guys last week, but I've got his Trijicon MRO to review, and we have a Vortex AMG UH1. So I've asked James if Shield want to send down a comparable sight, if they have I think they have a comparable sight, but if they want to throw one in the mix, and I'll do a three-way comparison. And at the same time, during that email, I said to him, like, look, please, if you've got a demo CZ, send it down. So I was saying earlier, whoever sends me one of the CZs first, I'm going to put a video on it, because I know everyone wants to learn more about it. And actually, those videos do very, very well, because not many people do long barrel pistol reviews. Obviously, it is only limited to the UK. And if you know, I've been very lucky in the past. I was the first to get a video out of the Icon Arms IP226, although obviously we know the whole story behind that, unfortunately. The first to put a video out of the PPQ, I believe, and the first to put a video out, well, technically I was the first to put a video out of the Shield CZ, although that wasn't a full review. What other, I think maybe even the Colt, the Walther 1911 Colt, and the CIP22 Glock, not a Glock, or not a Glock. There's a rhyme in there. So yeah, I tend to have this habit of like putting the first reviews out of long barrel pistols. So whoever, you know, and that's what I was saying. They seem to do well, because there is actually quite a lot of interest in long barrel pistols in the UK, and it always happens the same way. You hear these rumours that the gun is going to come in, and then you see one at a show, but you can only feel with it, have a play with it, and sort of the rumour and the speculation builds. And just like you all are tonight, you're just asking, do you know any more? Do you know any more? I remember that was the other one as well. It was going to be the Suffolk Rifle Company Glock. That I got like the first video out of. That gun never got released, but again, I just had countless message after message after message of, do you know anything about this Glock? Do you know anything about this Glock? And I was like, I ended up going and collaring I've forgotten his name, Neil, I think it was Neil at Suffolk Rifle Company, and I said, you have to let me do a video with this gun. He ended up actually just doing like a 2 or 3 minute piece, but that video is sitting on like 20,000-30,000 views, so you know, it's not up there with some of the top videos, but you think for quite a limited market gun, 30,000 views is not so bad. So yes, I want to get one in as quickly as possible, whoever will send me one first. Oh, Carl Volt, yes, you did say OnlyFans unfortunately doesn't allow firearm content, although who says it has to be firearm related content? I could just post nudes of myself on it. You know, maybe that would attract more. I know, you know, me laid like one of your French girls next to a 50 BMG, that's probably going to set a lot of you guys off, especially Daniel. But yeah, it's no biggie. I can do OnlyFans with no guns. What about water pistols at the very least, or BB guns? Yes, and Paul said exactly the same thing. I don't think Daniel wanted gun content. Yeah. Stephen Wolf, Carl must be minted. Yeah, that's my thought as well. With every maybe we can't because it's limited to 2. I hopefully we'll get the chance to meet Carl face to face. I don't know whether he will want to be on camera or not, and Richard for that matter as well. Both have been invited down to the end of lockdown range fun whenever we're going to be able to do that. So yeah, someone touch my spaghetti. Yeah, whatever you want, Carl. Like, you've got to that point now. You're in the VIP platinum VIP club now. Really, it doesn't take, well, no, I'm gonna say, look, it doesn't take much. You've been absolutely amazing. But yes, I will find out what he does for a job, and I will be asking if wherever he works has vacancies. Stephen Wolf, during the last month he could have bought like a gun instead of yeah, he could have, but he's helped buy the camera, which is what for the channel really needed. So Chris Smith, the practical did look amazing. Thank you very much. DATV, what ranges can you shoot with a 308? Most ranges get rated up to 308. Outdoor ranges, that is. So, you know, Bisley has to be one of the best, biggest ranges to shoot 308 at. Sevenside will do. I mean, the range at Bluefield Sports is rated up to. I think technically you could shoot a 50 cal on it. I mean, we will at some point shoot the 338 Lapua. I promise, and I keep keep saying that all the time. Stephen Wolf, let's get the party started. 20 going once, twice. Yeah, Rich. I think it was you, Stephen, that managed to initiate the bidding war or the donation war between Richard and Carl a few weeks ago. So, thank you very much. David Kidd will take no money from Carl. He needs it for October in Kentucky. Somehow, I think he's all right. I think he's good. But yeah, so Kentucky. Did I tell you guys about our plans for Kentucky last week? I can't remember. Let me just check my emails and see when I actually booked this. Where is it? Oh, why is it? Is it that? Yes, it's that. When was that booked? 8th of May. No, so I wouldn't have talked about it. So you guys will already know what is confirmed, and I'm sure you guys are already bored with me talking about, but it will be an amazing trip. Is going out to Kentucky in October now. It was meant to be April, but it's going to go to Kentucky, and I do have a feeling that I have already discussed this. But anyway, I'm really excited, so you can listen to me again. So when the trip was booked last time, Connors and I sort of said to each other, why didn't we go out for longer? You know, because once the flights have been paid for and you've already got the car for a week and all that, to add on an extra week isn't a huge amount extra. You know, it's not an insignificant amount of money, but the main cost has already been outlaid, which is usually your flights. So Connors and I thought, when we were talking to David about rebooking it for October, why don't we add a week on in front? Because obviously you know that I run Magload with Connors. Connors founded it. It's very much his baby, but I'm very much part of the team to run it. So we want to get more into America. The biggest shooting market in the world is America. So we thought, well, why not combine it into a sales trip, and also more content for the channel. So we're actually going out a week earlier now. So we're flying out, I think it's on the 16th, and flying back on the 31st of October. And we are doing a mammoth road trip. And I'm going to have to get Google Maps up for this, because whilst I'm fairly familiar with all the different states and where those states are within the US, there's a lot that we're going to be driving through. So I'll break down, and also part of the reason I want to, if I am repeating myself, I apologize. But also the reason I want to say is that if there are any American viewers, subscribers, fans of the channel that want to meet up, that want to, maybe you've got something interesting in, nearby that you want to show us, shooting related, please let me know. So our plan at the moment, and it is a very rough plan, but it will follow something similar to this, is that we're flying into Chicago. We're then going to drive over to Iowa. Oh, it's the NHS clap, and it is 8 o'clock. Hooray, I finally remembered. So just a quick pause. For those of you that don't know, every Thursday at 8 o'clock, we're giving the NHS and frontline workers here in the UK a big round of applause for all of the hard work they're doing, keeping us safe, keeping us healthy, and all that. So, as I say every week, we're in the middle of nowhere here, so it doesn't matter if I go out to the window or the door, no one else is going to hear it. But I will give an internet clap to them, and you certainly should go out to your windows, your balconies, your doors, whatever, give them a clap out in the street. Finally remembered and finally hit it at 8 o'clock. But anyway, big thank you to the NHS, of course. So, as I was saying, we're going to fly into Chicago on the 16th. We're going to drive across, I think, to, is it Iowa? Is it pronounced Iowa? I'm probably going to butcher some of these names. English is not my strong point. Iowa. Definitely Iowa. Pretty sure. Anyway, we're going to drive across because I think there's a big... I think that's where Brownells might be. Anyway, we're going to try and arrange various meetings while we're out there. We're going to drive across to Iowa, probably come down through Missouri, into Kansas, down through Oklahoma, and then into Texas. And we're going to be going down to... Oh, and also, because he is here as well, unless Connors has joined as well, Daniel Smerald is going to be joining us for this trip. He's crazy, if you ask me, this much traveling in a car together, but anyway, he wanted to come. So we're going to drive right down to, I think, San Antonio. So bearing in mind we only have a week to do this, so across to Iowa, Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas. We're probably going to spend the majority of the time in Texas because guns, and then we're probably going to drive across, go Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, up through Tennessee, and then meet all of the guys in Kentucky for the start of the American shooting trips. So, I've been to the States a fair amount of times. I've been to Florida, California, Nevada, Utah. I've stopped off in Chicago for transfers, and I've stopped off in Texas for a sort of an overnight layover, and I've been to New York. But that's it. So I'm actually personally going to be ticking off a load of states that I've never actually gone and explored, so it's going to be epic. I think we've worked out it's something along the lines of 3,000 miles of driving over a week, and I think we have to budget, I think it's about 5 hours of driving a day to be able to do all of that. But I'm really looking forward to hopefully engaging with American viewers and subscribers. So if anyone does want to get involved, want to show us some stuff, take us to the range, take us to a gun shop that you highly recommend, please do. My email is EnglishShooting@gmail.com. Drop me an email and we can try and arrange something. If you're in any of those states, we're going to be pretty much going through the center of most of them, so a little bit of detour isn't a huge issue. So yeah, I'll be making a full video on it at some point, so we will we'll see how that goes. But it's going to be epic. Hopefully it's going to be very obviously magload focused for that week. That's the main reason we're doing it. But we will be going to ranges, we will be going to gun shops, and I'm going to film it all. So there's going to be a lot of preamble to the main American shooting trips, and then after that there's going to be a whole week of us range to ourselves, load of gun thirsty Brits going out there and making up for lost time with the guns that we're not allowed to own here. So it's going to be 2 weeks solid of videos. So I really hope the hotels or motels we end up staying in have good Wi-Fi. Carl is continuing to go on. I've just seen those. How's it going? Hype. You're a madman. But anyway, that's again, I'm sorry if I've repeated myself on that, but yeah, that's the plan for next October. So silver lining, we weren't able to go in April, but in rebooking it for October, we've added on another week to the front of the trip. So I really can't complain with that. Crap, I thought I'd clicked onto a Swedish porn channel. When have you ever seen something like that used in porn? Please don't answer that question, David. I really don't want to know. I mean, you know, for easy insertion, there we go. You know, and if you want to lock on, you open it up. There you go. You can only imagine what that could be used for, right? But when have I, like, I mean, I'm not going to be coy about this. I've watched a lot of porn over my time. I have never seen something like that in there. So whatever you're watching, David, like, please get help. Like, that's all I can say, right? With a wireless monitor, it will be great. So funny thing, it's Wi-Fi, so I haven't successfully managed to get it working yet, but you can connect it to your phone and use your phone as a wireless monitor. What I need it more for is vlogging, because the old 700D that I have, the screen comes out and flips towards me, so I can have the camera pointed at myself and I can see the screen, so I can see if the battery's getting low, if it's low on memory. This is probably the worst thing about this camera. This is all you can do with the screen, right? So you can bring it out, you can tilt it a bit, you can tilt it up, like, that's it. So in terms of vlogging, I'm not going to be able to see anything. So what I actually need is a monitor to go on top so that I can see the monitor, although that's where the mic goes. So that's why I also need a cage so I can put the monitor and the mic on it. So anyway, I think Carl's like made it about halfway towards the monitor now. So thanks, Carl. So the mobile and camera combo is mainly designed for two-man Steadicam operator and framing operator. Yeah, that's, you know, they have all these rigs and, you know, focus pullers and stuff like that. So Carl saying about a stalker drone. I mean, for those of you that don't know, maybe I could, do I have it on the desktop? Let me see if I've got this clip, because it's worth the wait if I can get this one up. It's not the first time I've ever said this. Where is it? So I have a clip somewhere. It's got, I know it's here somewhere. I had a little bit of a fail with my old drone, but don't worry, it's here we go. So it's there. Let's have a look at this then. I'll try and bring this up. I'm doing this live on the software, so if it goes wrong, if I cut out, I apologize. But I'm getting more familiar with it. Usually Alex does all of this, which I'm very, very grateful for, but I'm having to make do obviously with isolation and stuff like that. Where is it then? Here it is. Almost there, guys. It'll be worth the wait, I promise you. So this was out in Utah a couple of years ago, and a bit of sort of backstory to it. It was a bit windy, and I wanted to put it up for a stage because capturing practical shooting from above is just absolutely awesome to watch, and I'm sure you've seen a lot of that on the channel before. But it was really, really windy, and Simon Tobias, who's part of KFC and Caliber, and you know, goes on American shooting trips as well, he's a qualified pilot. So you would think that I would sort of take his advice on things. He's going, it's too windy. Now, I knew it wasn't too windy. I'd taken off in wind similar, and it was fine. But because everyone was stressing me out, going, you're going to crash it, you're going to crash it, you're going to crash it, basically, instead of just full throttle up to clear all the obstacles, because there's stage furniture and everything there, I end up just having a complete brain failure, and I full throttle forward and up. So instead of just shooting straight up, it takes off, and well, this is what happened. Yeah, not my proudest moment. Not the cheapest. You can see as well, it is like rammed on. Yeah, there's me trying to recover it, and and I think I got a massive round of applause, as of course you would, and a lot of ribbing. I've never been able to live it down. Let's do it one more time in case you missed it. Ready? Boff. Yeah, I was so close as well. I almost made it. But yeah, it ended up breaking off. It snapped one of the motors out of the plastic. Luckily, being a qualified electronic engineer, I'm fairly handy with all things electronics. So it is now working. It's got some battle scars, but I managed to replace the motor. I have to say, it's why I really like DJI kit, because you'd think, I mean, the drone was about 450 quid new, and I'd already had it maybe a couple of years, and it was at the point where it's like, I've had enough use out of this, whereas if I crash it and break it, I'm sort of okay with it, and then flew it into some stage furniture. So yeah, I went to get a replacement motor, and I thought, like most companies do, they would absolutely rinse you. I got it directly from DJI for like £15. It took me maybe 20 minutes to open it up, take it out, swap it out, good as gold. But yeah, I learned from that. So yes, back onto Carl's thing about stalker drones. I'm always a bit nervous now. I have a tendency, as you've just seen, to overdo it and over egg it. But yeah, DJIs can do it. So we do have a Maverick 2, I think it is, available to use, and I should really use more. I should, like, drones add so much extra to a video. I really should use it a bit more. But yeah, they've got a feature on it where you can follow yourself. So yeah, I should probably do that. I should really, shouldn't I? But yeah, there's my reservation. That's probably why Alex hasn't let me fly the Maverick, because he's seen that video before. David Kiddle, box fed, you say, see Callum hopefully next Friday. Well, you keep teasing me. You keep saying that there's going to be these new guns coming. So yeah, David's been saying there's a lot of new stuff and a lot of interesting stuff that I'm going to be reviewing soon. So we'll see how that goes. And Daniel Smerald can't wait. He wants to see Connor's beard in 4K. You really don't. You pick up all the crumbs and the sauce and everything that he's saving for later. Mochaccino, box fed gimbal camera. No, see mate, you've tried to be funny there. Just leave it to the professionals, okay? And Neil, we were talking about the box feds earlier, saying the WebTac is an AR. Yeah, again, I think I know the one you're talking about. I still don't rate it highly. Steve, where's your invite to bring my Derriere Lion practical? As soon as we're allowed people to come back down here, although again, technically within the rules you would be allowed to. So I don't know, I'll check with Alex, see what he's up to. We might be able to arrange you to come down as soon as people can come back down without any worry at all, and everyone's happy to be coming to ranges and stuff. Bluefield Sports is open, like, you know, or well, I say it is open, although Alex is currently self-isolating at the moment, so it's not fully open. But Corners or I, you know, can help you out with anything you need. If you do have any urgent desires, urgent needs, we all have our own desires, don't we? Stephen Wolf, you're about 7 videos behind apart from the live streams. Just watched the Stryborg one today. Stryborg did it again. No, is it Strybog? I love the rifle. I hate the name because, like, literally, I honestly didn't do that, or like deliberately. Every time I see it, I say Stryborg. I don't know why. That's just me. I think you guys. I tend to like sort of come in half of your conversations, and I'm like, what the hell are those guys talking about? Is there a review of the condom coming to the channel? Well, once I have my OnlyFans, never know. Maybe that's the first video. That's what I should do. should start my own like sex toy review. No, you definitely don't want to see that. I'm hoping. Callum gun tips. You guys, you really do lower the tone, don't you? What, you want to see me an arseless chap's rodeo? Yeah. Yeah, actually, that's the perfect response. So, someone that was asking about 357 for rabbits, Mochaccino, how big are your rabbits? It's like the Duracell bunny. It's got to be. Kyle will probably buy you 200 rounds of 4570 with all the donations. Maybe that's it. Stop being poor. Yeah. Maybe I should. I should just go and buy 500 rounds of 4570. Honestly, buy me as much 4570 as you want. I will continuously shoot it non-stop until it's gone. That rifle is a dream to shoot. Like, honestly. I'll petition for Callum to ride a 50 cal in the States. Don't know what you mean by that, but I'm a little bit worried. I'm just, again, guys, I'm only catching up with some of these comments from earlier. Just having a little laugh to myself. Don't mind me. Some of these things I really don't want to repeat. So maybe I'm just trying to catch up because I know you guys, you know, you're sat there patiently waiting for me to get through your comments. So I'm just sort of blitzing through and just catching up on what you guys are doing. Yeah, and I've just caught up to all the claps, so I'm only like 16 minutes behind you guys. English is not my strong suit. Owner of English shooting. Maths. Maybe I should have called it maths shooting. Actually, that sort of works really. Yeah, English isn't my strong point. I mean, I can just about type English shooting into Google when I need to. Demolition ranches in Texas. I did actually email Donut Operator. He's a YouTuber that I really like watching his videos. It's really morbid sort of topic, and I know this is going to sound really weird, but if you haven't seen any of Donut Operator's videos, go and watch a few. He commentates police shootings, which I know sounds absolutely crazy, but I think one of the first videos that I saw of him, I was absolutely wetting myself. His delivery and what he says and how he describes stuff, like I was absolutely in hysterics. And I didn't get a response from him, and I'm sure there are thousands of people emailing Demolition Rants. I'll give it a try. Like, you know, what's the worst that could happen, you know? Maybe he locks me in a safe and tries to shoot it with something big, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, that would just be amazing, wouldn't it? Could you think of the collaboration? I mean, all of the new subscribers he would get from being on my channel, you know? I mean, I'd be doing him a favor, obviously. So some random from Kentucky takes Callum to the church in Kentucky. What are you on about, Mochaccino? Speak English. I can't spell English, but I can speak it just about most of the time. New York to LA cannonball record is officially 26:50. I'm guessing you're a VinWiki watcher as well. Hickok 45 is in Tennessee. Okay, I'm gonna have to make notes. I'm gonna have to come back and see where all these guys are. Yeah, we are happily going through a lot of very pro-gun states. I mean, I know anything pretty much in the South is pro-gun, but Texas, Kentucky, Tennessee, Alabama, or all of those, South Carolina, they're just loads of really pro-gun states. So really looking forward to it. Daniel Smerald, I just want to go to Joe Exotic Zoo and barbecue. You'll be happy. We will be going to the Tiger Zoo. Although I think it's actually shut down, because during the Tiger King, if you've seen it, they did actually relocate that zoo in the end. Yes, David. I'm very much looking forward to seeing how those PJ turned out. Ricardo, Callum, if you want a driver for the weeks you're in the States, I don't mind leaving the wife and kids home and I'll be travelling with you. Wife won't be happy, but it'll be one hell of a trip. Unfortunately, Daniel jumped straight in there. So we do have technically we have a spare seat, but it's going to be filled with a lot of luggage, I'm sure. Custom set with Callum's face on. Yeah, Daniel, I will be disappointed if you don't have pajamas for Kentucky with my face on them. Like, honestly disappointed. Or a onesie, Stephen. Either or, some sort of nightwear with my face on it. I will accept nothing less. Maybe my face and Connor's face. Oh, come on, that would be epic. Like, my face and Connor's face on it. Evening, Tom. We've been talking about your gun a little bit this evening, the 44 Marlin. Tastes incredible. Well, I'm sorry, Mum. Like, you know what these. You've joined enough of these live streams. You know what it gets like. And anyway, have you read the comments? Have you read what these guys are saying? This is not all my fault. Mostly, I mean, it is my stream, so I guess it's entirely my fault. But I can't help the comments. I can't help the tone that you guys take this in. I mean, David's saying the Derriere is a Typhoon in new clothing. I thought the Derriere was a Derriere. I thought the Derriere was a new UTAS. See, the Typhoon, like, I wouldn't say the Typhoon is a good gun, but it's like one of the better options, I think, unless you're going to go and spend 6.5K. So, being all serious, look. Even if my mum is on here, it's my channel. I'm an adult. I can do whatever I want, okay? Leave me alone. Yes, actually, that's a good point about Demolition Ranch and Donut Operator. They have done a number of videos together. And actually, that's one of the ones you can go and see. I can't remember whose channel it was on, but they tested less than lethal options on each other. And it was just nuts. Like, some of that stuff, like, I wouldn't personally go near. Like a taser, like, I'd probably try a taser just because. But that's actually some of the funniest videos of Donut Operator. He does like taser shootings, and oh my god, like, don't do it on a full bladder. That's for sure. Callum, thank you very much. Pre-order an EnglishShooting onesie. Well, you're gonna have to talk to Dan for that. I mean, apparently it's Dan getting them made. We do have soon. They were meant to be here for this stream, but of course, with everything going on, and they got delayed. We will have some new merch at some point. I mean, I don't know what merch it will be, but there'd be some more tasteful EnglishShooting merch at some point. So yeah, Carl, you've been watching VimWiki. Again, if any of you are petrol heads, go and check out VimWiki. I watch a lot of those stories. They're absolutely incredible. Some of the stuff they get up to. So Alberto, I am considered mature enough and responsible enough to own 6 handguns in the motherland. How will it affect me when applying for a gun license here, since I lack references for my personal in the UK? Basically, you need references. If you don't have referees for an SGC or an FAC here, and somebody that you have known for over 2 years, you won't be able to apply. That's like a set rule. You need somebody who has known you for 2 years here, and you'll you'll have to you have to wait, unfortunately. T-Rex arms. Is that the T-Rex arms? How do I see? How do I verify? Is it? I don't know. Is that someone with a fake account? Let me just do a little Google, because if it is T-Rex Arms and I'm out in the States, like EnglishShooting@gmail.com. Let's see what the. I think is it the. I'm either getting like. You've got a hyphen. There we like. I think that's a fake account, because the real T-Rex Arms is T.Rex Arms. Where that is T high. See, I can be an investigator when I want to. But if it is, by any chance, the real T-Rex Arms, EnglishShooting@gmail.com, I'll come out and shoot with you anytime, and you're more than welcome to come here as well. Another great channel, especially if you want to, get into drilling and speeding yourself up. No, that's Mocha. Why am I not surprised? And you're not buying or making anything. I'd make a shirt with my comp. I'm disappointed, Daniel. You might have to sit in the back for the trip. All right, you've made me very sad. That's Botkin, not me. Yeah, I don't know. I got all excited then. I saw it. I thought I'd been recognised by a more famous YouTuber. It would have made my day. But anyway, I've finally caught up. Too well known for trolling. Finally caught up with all your messages. So anything you want to ask now, I'm going to get straight onto. So any questions, let me know. Any topics you want to talk about, like anything at all, anything that's burning on your mind. But let's see what. Oh yeah, so in the past week, obviously there was the Walther PPQ. I did touch on this, I think, last week in the stream. I'm of course a servant of Blue Field Sports now, so I'm making loads of videos in collaboration with Blue Field Sports and Alex for promotional, for promotion of the gun shop and all that. Also did the Tippmann M422 review, which if you guys have seen, then you know my take on it. If not, I think it's an all-round great 22 rifle. I don't think you can go wrong with one, personally. I would always look at the Chris or the Smith first, but it's definitely one to look at if you're thinking of getting a 22 rifle. But that's a question that I wanted to ask you guys, is that I seem to be doing, well, certainly a lot of 22 reviews at the moment and 22 rifles. So are there any 22 rifles, AR or otherwise, or any guns? Are there any particular guns that you want me to review? Is there anything, maybe something that you've seen at Blue Field Sports that hasn't been on the channel, or something that you want us to get in so that we can review it? Let me know, because I want to get hold of. I know all of you are now going to go CZ. Yes, I know you want the CZ. I want the CZ as well. I want to review it, and I want to review it for you guys. So stop getting the messages. But yeah, anything other than the CZ? Is there anything you want me to review that we could go out and review? Having said that, I've got more than enough at the moment. There's loads. I've got products backing up, because I've still got the 870 upgrade 4-end in stock that I'm going to be doing a video on very shortly. Daniel's are MRO, and the Vortex, of course. So yeah, plenty to review. But also, where was it? I just need to check something. Why is that? Let's check. Yes, that is correct. Just wanted to get the name right, because you know how I'm good at fudging up names. So somebody that was talking, I don't know if you guys remember last week in the stream, a guy called John, who was talking about the Mantis X3 and whether he should have gone for the Mantis X10. Well, spoiler alert, he ended up going for the 10, and phoned me up today, and very, very kindly. I don't know if he's here, actually. I might have missed it. So hi, John, if you are here. But he phoned up today and said, look, I've got this Mantis X10. You said on the stream last week that you wanted to get hands on with it, because I've seen loads and loads of videos of people using it, and it looks like a neat little system. And he's very kindly sent it down. I think he's only had it like a day or two himself, and he's sending it down to us. So he sent it special delivery, so I should have it tomorrow. So I'll be doing a video on that very shortly. And of course, I filmed a video on the point blank simulator, who's joined us again tonight. Hi Paul again. So with lockdown and people not fully being able to go to the range still, these options, these home training options, are very, very popular. So we've got the video of the point blank simulator, very, very nearly finished editing that. That should be out very shortly. But also getting this Mantis X10, and that I believe you can mount to pretty much any gun, and you can do all sorts of drills and training with it. So it's not a simulator, but it's more of a training aid. It's Mac. So sorry if you didn't want your name. At least I didn't give your full name out. But yes, again, really appreciate that, Mac, and yeah, looking forward to trying it out. And actually, point blank simulator Mantis X10 is good. It works with our system, and we know them personally. Oh, awesome. Okay, so maybe I can actually hook it up to point blank simulator and get do like a joint review as well, like a follow-on review. So that would be that'd be fun. Oh god, I've done it again, haven't I? Steve just said, yeah, I put the stream as 14/4/20. I got the date wrong last week as well. I mean, it's more right this week, I suppose. I'll get there in the end. Quick, make a Demolition Ranch account, Daniel. No, stop. You don't realise how much concentration it takes to do this, because all of the things that you don't see the screen that I've got, and I have two. I've got the live stream YouTube thing running, and then I've got the streamer running, and like keeping an eye on both of them and your comments and trying to be vaguely coherent. And when you see like T-Rex arms pop up there, like I'm like, oh my god. So yeah, no, don't needlessly wind me up, please. Yes, Tom. Yes, 100%. Smith & Wesson long-barreled revolver. That has to be reviewed. Actually, funny enough, I think I'm not that sort of precious about Instagram, but I do. For those of you, is there anything on there I can't show? No. So for those of you that don't know, English Shooting also has an Instagram, and I believe like the photo of the Smith & Wesson. So for those of you that don't know, got to shoot the Smith & Wesson long-barreled revolver the other week, which I know Kiddle's now going to pop up and go, keep an eye on this space, and very, very much looking forward to seeing what comes in. But I think that's actually, Tom, my most liked photo on Instagram. I'm pretty sure. Like, it's got like over 200, which I know isn't a huge amount. I really should post more to Instagram, do more stories. But if you want to go give it a like, loads of photos. Oh no, where's that gone? Oh dear. Loads of photos, loads of cool stuff. Yeah, it's another way to support the channel, and you'll get to see some pictures of guns occasionally when I remember to post there. But yes, that is a gun that, very much thanks to Tom, I'm hoping to review in the near future. So yeah, it seems to be very popular if you base it on Instagram, so looking forward to making a full video with it. It's an awesome bit of kit. What the hell has just happened? There we go. Oh, I thought everything went down then. Chris Sell, have you had your hands on with Northwest Custom Parts' own 22 AR? What do you think? Have a 1522 already and wanted a real steel AR. So I know Wayne quite well. I've gone and made a number of videos with him, and we chat occasionally. But he did send down, when we first started Gunroom TV, he sent down a load of guns for us to review. and there were just various reasons that we didn't end up I don't. Well, maybe we did. I can't remember if we released a video, but I don't think we ended up doing it. And there were various reasons why it never really ended up happening. I know that Tom, if he's bringing down his Smith & Wesson, he does have a Northwest Custom Parts built Rise armament rifle, which he's very much in love with. And yeah, I have tried them. I have tried Northwest Custom Parts. The funny thing for me is that I know Wayne puts a lot of he has a lot of attention to detail with his guns, and will try and help you build he'll do anything for you. Anything you want, he will try and build, and he'll build it to the highest quality. The only thing I found weird, and I don't know if he's sort of resolved this, is that it didn't run CCI Minimag. Now, he told me not. I think we did put out a video, because he told us don't run CCI Minimag through it. And I was like, but that's my go-to test round. I say it all the time. That's the benchmark. If a gun doesn't run CCI Minimag, it normally means there's an issue with the gun. But funny enough, all the other ammunition that we ran through it ran fine. But lo and behold, we did have issues with CCI Minimag. But that's part of the review. That's part of the information that you guys are going to want to know before you go out and buy something. So I included it in the video. And I think maybe English Shooting had shut down by that point, and I think that was part of the reason as well we didn't do as many videos with them as possible. So, Wayne wasn't very happy, let's say, that, it was said in the video that it doesn't run on CCI Minimag, but I was like, but that's part of the test. But I did caveat that it ran with everything else, or Connors did. I really can't remember what happened. But yeah, I mean, talk to Tom. Tom's a customer of Northwest Custom Parts. I know there's a lot of people that are very, very happy with their builds, very passionately happy with it. Wayne is sort of one guy on his own, and he's able to keep up with companies like Lantac, and actually outdo their customer service, which isn't, I suppose, too hard. But yeah, if Wayne will build you anything. I mean, I did a video. You guys might have seen it. I did a tour of his place, and it is like an AR Aladdin's cave, like ceiling to floor. That's usually how they build it, isn't it? Or floor to ceiling, shall I say? He just AR parts, like anything you can imagine. He probably, I think I said in the video, he's probably the best stocked AR builder in the country. And he had all the stuff that no one else could get. So it's definitely worth checking out. I think you're also a little bit closer to him than I am. I definitely go and do a lot more videos with him if I live closer. Obviously, he's up in Manchester. I'm down here in the south. I think it's time. I mean, I can't get any more illiterate, right? So I think. So, there we go. Years of experience, that. But yeah, if you want custom, and you said you wanted real steel, then Northwest Custom Parts is definitely an option. He does build very, very realistic sort of AR-22s in real steel, and again, he will build what you want. I know as well, with David Kiddle from Calibre Innovations being here, check out Calibre Innovations as well. They will build anything that you want, but I think Wayne is probably a little closer to you. And in terms of rifles to review, that's a very good point, DATV. The Ruger 1022. I don't think I've actually ever had a Ruger 1022 on the channel, because it's not really a gun that you would review, is it? It's like everyone knows it. It is what it is. But yeah, maybe I'll do a video with one of those. Yeah, I mean, how can I be a shooting channel and not have a Ruger 1022 on it somewhere? So yeah, I'll definitely try and crack out the Ruger. GSG 16. Like, to be honest, Mark, I'd probably end up getting frustrated with it from what I've heard about it, especially after shooting the Strybog. There we go. I think that's right. maybe. 6.5 Creedmoor. Well, Dan is looking for a barrel for his Desert Tech, so if he ever gets the 6.5, hopefully he'll allow me to shoot it, and I'll be able to do one of those. Unfortunately, we don't have one in the gun room. I can see that. I know there's a number of stockists, retailers. To be honest, I've never actually shot 6.5, and I'm interested to do a side-by-side comparison. So that's definitely a good idea. So yeah, we'll check it out. We'll check out the 6.5, maybe even shoot the 338 at the same time. 22 WMR. Again, we've got a 22. I should be making notes, shouldn't I? Because otherwise I will forget. So let's put this down. So you want 1022. You're going to want a 6.5 Creedmoor. I sound like the Chinese restaurant. Oh, you want a 6.5? Do you want a 6.5 with a bit of 1022? Maybe you want some 22, some 22 WMR as well. And if you get the 22 WMR, you've definitely got to get 308. 6.5 and a 22 WMR. So we do have a 22 WMR in the gun room. It is the Riflecraft, not Riflecraft. Is it Riflecraft? There's two. There's two companies in the UK. They're very similar names. I know Daniel knows what it is. I mean, I know the guy. We always we've actually done quite a bit. Guncraft. That's it. I think maybe. Anyway, pretty much the only person that makes a 22 WMR, apart from Wayne at Northwest Custom Parts as well. But a little funny backstory to the 22 WMR. The reason the Guncraft, yes, it's Riflecraft are the trainers. Guncraft is okay. So it's the Guncraft 22 WMR. We were like one of the first to have one in. Unfortunately, it had reliability issues, and it just wasn't a joy to shoot. And the guy that runs Guncraft took it away. Rob, is it Rob? I think I'm terrible with names, absolutely terrible with names. If any of you have ever sort of come up to me at the show and I have that, you'll know it's that blank face of, I should really know your name. I'm like honestly terrible with names, but I think it's Rob. And basically he took it away. He took our advice. I mean, Connor's is a bit of a whiz when it comes to guns, so he sort of gave some feedback, and he went away, tinkered with it, fixed it, and the gun runs really, really well now. So we didn't want to put a review out because we knew it was a very early model. We knew that if we put a review out of it that was bad, it could potentially kill it for people, and we knew that the issues were fixable. It just took some time, and we wanted to hold judgment on it basically. So he comes back. It's not as reliable as a 2.2, but it's certainly a very fun gun now. It's a hell of a lot more reliable than it was, and props to Rob for going away and doing that. And you know, they run great now for a 2.2 WMR. Chris Defiance. I mean, there has been a Chris Defiance on the channel, Daniels, or are you talking? We do have a Chris Defiance sat in the safe. So again, I'll put that down. I forget, like, we get guns in. That's actually on loan as well. Someone's left that with us to review, and it's been a while. The guy actually works for the army. And to say how long it's been out there, I think he's been on deployment for like 3 months, and he went and came back, and we still haven't touched the rifle. So I should really review that before he justifiably comes down and says, "Look, can I have my bloody rifle back?" Sorry guys, it like the message chat like disappeared into oblivion, so I'm just trying to catch up with what you guys were saying. God, you guys, you have a lot of things you want me to review, don't you? CZ, I think we might even have the CZ. We might. 4757. This is great. Like, it's so. Usually I like struggle. Like, what should I do today? But this is. I mean, I think the winner is the 22 WMR. Like, you guys really want to see that. So I'll try and do that as quickly as possible. Yes, guys, the stream date is wrong because I'm an idiot. I'll change it and it will be like it's never happened. But I'm nervous about changing it during the stream because I don't know what it will break. Browning X bolt. Okay. Browning. I haven't actually shot a bolt action 2.2 for a very long time. Be good to dust that one off. New Vortex Strike Fire. That shouldn't be too hard because we know the guys down at Country Sports Wholesale quite well. They actually sponsored the 338 with a beast of a Vortex Razor HD. I think it was like 6 to 24, like monster of a scope. But yeah, the Strike Fire, we might even have one in stock. If not, it's only a quick phone call to CSW and then we can get one. Daniel Defiance Delta rifle. It's bolt action with an easy change barrel system. Okay, that sounds a little trickier to get hold of, if I'm going to be honest, Carl. Yeah, because Daniel Defense is American, and the Americans really don't care about us. Just to I've been really good. I haven't begged too much tonight, but if you're watching this, I can see there's more people watching this than there are likes, so you know what to do. Please hit that thumbs up button. We still got some time left for this evening, so still not long. Still plenty of time to share it if you want to share it. But hit the thumbs up button. It does really help with the analytics and make the channel look as best as it can do. So we get shared more, and more people find it, and more people get into shooting, and that's what we want, isn't it? MP5 imitations. If you're interested in MP5 imitations, go and watch the Strybog video. So it was released a couple of weeks ago. I actually compare it against the HK, the Umarex HK MP5 SD. So unfortunately I don't rate those guns very highly, if I'm honest. It's, the imitation ones they're great for plinking, absolutely, they're all great for plinking, but the MP5 and the 416, that's really all they are. They're not competition guns, they're not reliable, they're an absolute nightmare to maintain and clean in terms of the construction, and that's why I like the Strybog so much, because it's actually like a real 2.2 rather than something that's just pretending to be its bigger brother. So I have recently done an MP5. I mean, I could do one, actually stuff it, because I think, no, do we have both? No, we don't. We've only got the SD. So if anybody happens to, even though I've just slagged it off to hell, if anyone has a standard MP5 Umarex, not the SD variant, it would maybe make a cool video to compare both of those. So if any of you guys are able to get that to Bluefield Sports, obviously lockdown dependent on whatever you're able to do in terms of travelling, that would be two to put alongside each other. But yeah, but go and watch, if you want a video on that, go and watch the Strybog video. It's the Tyrannus, Gram Power Tyrannus Strybog. Definitely not called a Stryborg. So Callum, can we buy a 2.2 LR pistol and attach a suppressor to make it UK compliant in length? This actually opens up a massive grey area within the law, and it's never been properly proven. So if you were to have this, I'm pretty certain of, if you were to have a 2.2 section 5 pistol and you were then to put a rod on it and put a barrel on it, as far as I'm aware, it would still always be section 5. My understanding is that once something is section 5 here in the UK, it is always section 5. Now, I used to think this was section 1 shotguns. Of course, you can convert a section 2 shotgun into a section 1 quite easily by removing a crimp or changing the internal barrel, internal tube magazine. And my belief was always that you couldn't revert it. And I've had recently people that I really do trust in their knowledge and expertise say, no, you can do it. And I've talked to people that have done it. And it's down to the proof house. If the proof house will reclassify a section 1 to section 2, then you're golden if the proof house have done it. But I believe they won't do it for section 5. If you end up sending them a section 5 and say, I want this to be on section 1, I haven't heard of anyone ever do anything similar. So just getting a 2.2 pistol and putting a moderator or suppressor on it, it wouldn't do the trick, unfortunately. However, where it becomes a little bit grey is that section 5 is only a thing in the UK. So technically, outside of the UK, there's no such thing as section 5, so a gun therefore can't be section 5. So some people are saying it's a bit grey whether you could go and buy what would be a section 5 gun out in America, let's say, and convert it and bring it in as a section 1. And therefore, in the eyes of the law here, within the UK, it has always been a section 1. The first time it has been classified by our laws, it has only been classified as a section 1, not a section 5. However, it is very, 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 very grey, and the overall consensus is that that would be illegal. If you were to go and cobble together a gun that was in some way a section 5 gun previously in another country, so people don't do that. And that's why long barrel pistols tend to be very, very expensive, because you need to go and buy the component parts. You need, you imagine if you drive a BMW, right? If you go to a full forecourt and you buy a BMW, like, 30,000 for a new BM, right? If you go and buy the same car bit by bit, that £30,000 car will end up costing you £90,000, no problem whatsoever. And I'm not talking about the actual fitting it together and the costs of getting someone to assemble it. Like, spare parts always cost more than what they effectively cost when you first buy them. So that's why they end up becoming so expensive. That's why the Mark 1 GSG 1911 was something like £700-800, because it was the tunnel that basically brought in all the component parts and assembled it here as a section 1. And then GSG saw the market, and then they made it from factory as a section 1, and imported them over. So that's why the Mark 1 was like £700-800, and the Mark 2 is about 450, because all the component parts didn't have to be bought independently and separately. So why the Icon Arms, I think, was like £1,500, like £1,800. And Mike Jakes told me at the time, he was like, it pains me having to charge this much for it, but there's not a lot of money in it for me, because he had to go to Sig Sauer and buy component parts of a Sig Sauer 226 to be able to make it. And I'm sure David Kiddle as well can attest, in terms of, he was very, very lucky to find unregistered Glock lowers, or Glock frames even, which is what made the CIP 2.2 possible. I believe it's fairly well known that Glock don't like selling frames on their own. So to come across a load of unregistered ones, and again, so the reason unregistered is a big point is because if they had been registered firearms out in the US rather than, say, a replacement part, then they're technically section 5, therefore they can't be converted. But finding unregistered ones, it is just considered a spare part, considered a component part, and therefore can be. So that's why you can't go and just put a suppressor on a 2.2 pistol and bring it in. And again, why it makes them usually very expensive. But GSG obviously making their own Walther. That's why I really rate the PPQ, because it's a fantastic gun, and because it is made by Walther, it's at a very good price point, I think. And personally, I think it's the best long rail pistol, and it's available from Blue Field Sports, of course. Which one? What's that side, isn't it? I've only had one, honestly. And that's that's another point about it would have to be attached as well. So Review of the Lantac 22 Raven. If I could get my hands on one, I would. I'm sure you're all well aware that I have very kindly asked Paul in the past, owner of Lantac, if you'd like to send me one down. Let's just say it was a no. But yeah, if someone wants to send me one, if someone wants to bring one down, I'll happily review one. I get a lot of questions, well, a lot of questions recently actually about the Lantac. I rate the guns. I honestly do. My experience, I shot one at 7-side. Bearing in mind, obviously, it's a 2.2 semi-auto, and I was standing at 100 yards, and we were hitting. I can't remember what size. 10 inch. What's 10 inches? Why do I even bring this along myself? I think it was like a 10-inch plate standing at 100 yards, which I know is not like necessarily overly impressive, but I was pretty impressed. You know, it was consistently hitting it. What impressed me more was the fact that Richard had it was a guy called Richard Morgan that was there. He had a GSG 1911 that had been modded to hell, and he could standing shoot this 10-inch gong with the GSG 1911 at 100 yards, which I thought was absolutely bonkers. So they're good guns. I would love to review one, but Lantac don't have demo models. Apparently they don't need to use conventional media that everyone else does, apparently, despite me being made aware of a significant dip in sales after I started having a go at them. So, you know, perhaps not traditional, but conventional media works. Paul? That's not you, Paul, by the way. That's Lantac Paul. It doesn't help that you're both called Paul. Yeah, Carl, getting a SIG with a rimfire conversion kit then. Keep an eye on Gunstar. Occasionally if you really want a SIG, again, there's a video. It's a really, really old video, so I will pre-warn you. I mean, you think I'm like illiterate now. Back then, oh god, I honestly can't watch like my old videos. They make me cringe, but I know a lot of people still use them or find them and find them very useful, so I can't bring myself to like take them down, but they make me cringe anyway. There is a long barrel pistol SIG 6 hour. It's called the Icon Arms. It's the IP226, and it's the Icon Arms. Unfortunately, the guy that was making them passed away, and unfortunately, the company was dissolved. So I have seen them pop up occasionally on Gunstar and Gun Trader. So if that's what you're really set on, keep an eye on one of those. And actually, to be fair, Carl, if you see one, I don't know what your situation is with like FACs and stuff, but if you want Bluefield Sports to hold it for you, like, don't worry about it, because I would want to shoot it and I would want to review it properly again, rather than what I did last time, which is sort of just mumble. But yeah, there is a video on it if you want to learn a bit more, but they're like rocking horse shit, really. I think maybe only 10 or 20 were ever made, but again, they do pop up. Chris Smith, review of the Lantac delivery dates. Got a feeling that would actually be one of my longest videos. What are you guys? Nice next week. Yeah, Tom, if you want to come down, how do you guys fancy seeing a review of the a genuine Smith & Wesson long barrel revolver? I'm sure the answer is a resounding yes. So yes, please, Tom. And we filmed with your rifle today. I haven't actually checked the footage, so we might have to go out and film it again if it's bad. That does sometimes happen, but your rifle should be ready for collection now, so you can go and enjoy it. David Kiddle, keep an eye on this space for a UK-made stainless long barrel revolver in both 9mm and 357 moon clips for Christmas. Whoa, you keep teasing me. He's going to do, I'm trying to remember if if I tried out yours. Again, you guys are having your own little conversations there. David Kiddle saying he's got a Northwest Custom Parts 22 AR. The polymer one works great with the Boonley Packer 22 mag pack. Still pick up my 1522 first and loan the Northwest Custom Parts out. Yeah, that's the thing. I know I sound like a broken record, and everyone, like, I get some real pushback from people going, how can the 1522 be anywhere close to the same gun as some of the other 22 ARs? It really is. And bearing in mind, the two, like, undisputedly, well, I suppose some people might dispute it, but I would say easily the two best mini rifle shooters within the UK, Josh Hicks and Ben Ducker. Ben Ducker is a part of Team Magload, so I've got to give him props. I mean, they're animals. Like, they are the guys to beat when it comes to mini rifle. And they both run Smith & Wesson 1522s. That says it to me. Now, granted, I believe Josh is moving over. I'm not. I think I've talked about it before, but I don't know if it's a top secret thing. But he is moving away from the 1522. I just won't say what he's going to now. But he's always used a 1522. He's won, you know, the year he's won matches consistently with it, as has Ben. You know, they're both on the top on the podium, like, every single match with a 1522. Like, I don't know why people still argue that it's you know, it isn't a good competition gun. It quite evidently is, given the and it's not like Ben or Josh are budget conscious. You know, Ben is the same guy, and we had Ben and Emma, his wife, on a live stream on Facebook a while back. So if you're interested in learning more about Ben, go and watch that. But you know, this is the guy that as soon as the Gen 3 Vortex Razor HD was released, he put an order for 2 of them, right, without battering an eyelid. Battering an eyelid, whatever. So it's not like he's worried about spending the money, and he uses one of the cheapest 22s on the market. You know, he could go and have a custom built Northwest Custom Parts, or he could go and have a custom built Lantac, or he could go and buy a Chris Defiance or a Titman or any of those. He chooses a 1522. Granted, I know that he has been Ben has been trialing another gun, but that's actually more to make the training between his full bore shooting out internationally and his 2.2 mini rifle shooting more similar, so that it's not a big jump between the two. But best mini rifle shooters use a 1522. Case closed in my book, you know. And of course I shoot one, so again, what more do you need? What animals can you shoot with a 308? Again, I need to do more hunting myself. I need to learn more about it and understand it a bit more. I mean Stephen Wolf saying boar and deer. I would have definitely said deer straight away. I know there's some people that will use 308 on foxes. Again, I've heard that it can be quite overkill. So foxes, deer, badgers. Would you use a 308 on a badger? Are you allowed to shoot badgers now? Again, it's something I'm learning more about, but I'm still very much classing myself as a beginner when it comes to hunting. So, yeah, it's just I'm sorry I can't be more helpful with that. Have I watched the tour video? Which tour? I guess that's in relation to something I was talking about earlier. Which tour was that? Let me know what you think. Well, what you mean by tour. So Tom's saying he's happy to answer any questions on Northwest Custom Parts. He has no alliances. No, that's not a line. You know, whatever. That's a word that he's written that I obviously can't pronounce. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I'm happy with it. The service from Wayne is spot on, and he basically has Aladdin's Caves of Parts. Absolutely. So maybe I can, you know, review his, and yeah, we can have a little chat, because you've got a few. Oh yeah, we're going to be doing a What's in Your Safe, aren't we? That was the plan, if you're still up for that. So Tom has quite a significant What? Sorry, 1 minute. It's Alex Florence. Bear with me. Hello, Spunk Nuggets. You do know I'm on a live stream, right? I would go and check YouTube because I'm still very much live. Yes. Yes, I am. I'm definitely am. I'll give you a call after. All right. Cheers. Love him. You're not live at the moment. I am. No, you're definitely not live. Definitely am. Love him. He's definitely gonna come and give me some shit now. But yeah, we're planning to do a what's in safe with Tom, and he's got loads of interesting things. So we'll spend a while talking about all of them. Yes, Steve, I know we need to take the 338 out. I explain that I just can't bring myself to shoot at 100 yards, but I don't know. We get around it, and also we need Alex to come out with us as well because he wants to be the first one to shoot it. Yes, Guncraft. Yep, I got there in the end, didn't I, guys? Yeah, the Keltec. Have I done a review of the Keltec, David? If we haven't, can we have it back, please? No, we never got a chance. I did the CIP22, and you said you were going to bring the Keltec back for me to do a review of. So, please. Because that's another 2.2 dummy. I'm going to write that on the list, and I will hound you for it. Unless I did. I genuinely forget what videos I've done sometimes. I should review a spud gun. Not anymore. I'm allowed to shoot the real ones again now. Maybe like a few months ago. If you have your own land or permission, can you set up targets and say the guns are for targets? So, like, I don't want to get picky. I don't want to get, a bit arsey. But I really don't like how that is worded, because I don't, I'm not here to encourage anyone to do things that they're not meant to be, and like saying, oh, you can just say you were doing that. That's not on. Either you're allowed to do it or you're not. If you're not allowed to do it, don't do it. If you're allowed to do it, go and do it. However, if you have your own land, oh no, so sorry, I've said that wrong. So if you didn't mean, basically, if you're trying to like skirt the law, don't. But if it was genuinely a like harmless comment and I've just misread it wrong because the corona's kicking in, it's the virus, then that's fine. But you are allowed your own land. You're allowed to shoot on your own land. You do need to make sure it's cleared. But usually you have land cleared, private land cleared for pest control. Now, if you have an FAC for pest control, you are allowed to zero in your rifle. Now, what I know some people do, which again I don't condone, is that they're constantly zeroing in their rifle, and they basically have a home range, which is their zero range. But it is legal, but obviously it's a bit like they might push it a little bit too far. So if you do have an FAC for hunting, then you are allowed on those lands to set up a target to zero in your rifle, because at the end of the day, it's humane to make sure that your rifle is zeroed. You know where your round's going. You're not going to be a danger. You're going to give a clean kill every time. So yes, you can, but it's not. You need to make sure that obviously your FEO is well aware of what you're doing, and it's all above board, basically. Mochaccino, I should review a bullpup Chris Vector. Yeah, guys, if you don't know where that comes from, I bet I said that the Chris Vector was a bullpup. Well, no, what I said is that it reminds me of a bullpup, and it still does. There's just something about the look of it that does. But apparently, I don't know if it was just some massive Photoshop thing, but there was this photo floating about of, which, you know, Arius very, very kindly tagged me in, of this bullpup Chris Vector. So what do you think of Ruger precision rifles? Well, we have a 338 in the gun room that we do need to go and shoot, as I've been saying all evening and many weeks prior. But I haven't actually shot one myself, so I can't really comment. I know there's a lot of people that love them in 6.5 Creedmoor. Some people that absolutely hate them for various reasons, but without shooting one and getting to grips with it myself, I can't really comment. Can you hunt with slugs? Yes. Yeah, there's loads of stuff you can shoot slugs with. You know, maybe even rabbits. How big are your rabbits? And again, Arius, and again. Oh, you make me lol. Where is Bluefield Sports? Bluefield Sports is about 15 minutes away from Winchester. So basically, down the M3, you get to Winchester and turn left, effectively, and it's 15 minutes into the countryside. It's in a place called Corhampton. If you want to know rough area, you know, Alex doesn't put out the address. It's by invitation, appointment, not invitation only, appointment only. So if it's close to you, and I mean, Bluefield Sports is a full-fledged, you know, gun shop. As you know, if you've been watching the videos, you're going to know what it's like inside there. So, you know, just because it's appointment only doesn't mean that Alex is going to limit who comes and all that. You know, at the end of the day, it's a business. If you want to come and look at some guns with the, you know, you're thinking of buying some, here happily have you round. And, you know, if I'm here, if Connors is here, you know, we will probably take appointments from it as well. You know, that's part of the reason that I'm also a servant, is because Alex only has so many hours in the day for the gun shop. So I can, you know, take a few appointments, and so Connors does regularly and has done for the past couple of years. So yeah, anyone that wants to come down to Bluefield Sports, you know, go on the website. I think it's bluefieldsports.co.uk. I think that's what it is. And it's, or the email is rfd@blue.uk.com. I think that's what it is. It's on the Bluefield Sports website. Ooh, Ad H, Mossberg 500 versus Remington 870 comparison review. That, I like that one. I really like that one. I'm gonna add that down. But 500 versus 870. We've actually got a number of 870s in at the moment. There was an auction on Holtz. So like, not that I know that you guys won't need any excuse for going and looking at guns to buy, but go and check out Holtz Auctioneers, or Holtz Auction, HOLT S, and basically they have everything, like from like £10 scrappy rifles to like £100,000 paired shotguns. And Alex was on the site one night, and these Remington 700s kept popping up, and I think he was getting them for like 50 quid a pop, and he was like, why wouldn't you? You know, because anyone that comes into the shop would pay 100 quid for them straight away. So he's like, I'm never going to lose any money on them. And now he's got like 3 or 4 870s, and there's 1 or 2 were like in a bad condition, but the, like, again, 1 or 2 were actually pretty decent nick for 50 quid. Why didn't any other RFD take over? I've seen Alex Florence has joined the stream. You normally end streams at 8 PM and go out on the... Yep, mate, I usually finish them at 9, not 8. And anyway, what I go and do with your mother is up to me, okay? Ryan's here as well. I'm surprised. I like at the lack of abuse. If I'm going to be honest, that all like the fucking three amigos are here in terms of shit ripping. Well, no, I got Arius, I got Florence, I got Ryan, I got Smerald. Like, yes, oops, Alex. um. Just catching up with it, but yeah, it's. I love you, Alex. You never disappoint. Stephen Emery just took a quick look at the IP226 review. How old are you? Sound like 12. Yep. That's again. I find it cringy. I really do. I really do find it cringy. Like especially like the really early videos, you can tell I am concentrating so hard on trying to get everything perfect, to remember everything, and then I realized you can edit. Then I realized that actually it doesn't matter if I take like 5 goes at it and I do it over like 3 or 5 segments or whatever. I can just slice it all together. So I just ended up getting a lot better at editing and not really caring about. You probably get the impression, or you probably can put one and one together with the live streams, is that I do struggle with pronunciation and I struggle with words, all right, like completely, and that doesn't usually make filming very proficient. But you know, I can record a video 3 or 4 times before I'm happy with it, and I know within those 3 or 4 times there will be enough from each take that I'll be able to like sew it in together. So I just became very good at editing, and I give this illusion that I can do stuff in like one complete take. I can't. I really can't. But yes, how old was I when I did the IP226? It was definitely early 20s. But it's most likely the I think I've got a little bit of stubble, but obviously I've got like full on beard at the moment. So, and I've filled out a little bit more. I'm very slim around that time. Serious exercise junkie. Polymer 80 frames could be possible as they are 80. Ooh, that's a point. Actually, I know. I think 80%. I think it has been confirmed. Someone said the other day that 80% are legal here. Again, if you're like found in possession of one and you don't have a very good reason, I'm sure you're going to get a very big slap on the wrist. But technically, they are legal. I mean, you know, as an RFD, bringing them in shouldn't be an issue, because you can say, well, yeah, we're gonna, as long as the RFD is for manufacturing, you could manufacture them. You know, so you're bringing in parts to manufacture. So, yeah, 80%. That's an option. Ross saying, I rang my local clay ground today, and apparently they can't open because of Section 11. Any idea? Also got a text from the chairman of my gun range say that they won't be opening until earliest July. Did he say open because of Section 11? So is Section 11 that's the sharing? That's allowing people that don't have SGCs to share, I think, maybe. Just catching up, just trying to read as quickly as possible. Madmudix, I always, again, like, you know, can you make your usernames easier for me to pronounce, please? I am doing great, thank you. Thank you for asking. Hope you're doing well as well, keeping well. Hope you're all keeping well. I know there's probably a lot of new people watching from when we first started, so I hope you're doing great. Hope you're fighting off the lockdown boredom and probably very itching to get out to a playground. Have I reviewed the Winchester SX4? No. We've got an SXP in currently, courtesy of Paul. I don't know why we still have his gun. I think I asked this last week and I've completely forgotten what he said. But anyway, SX4. I've definitely shot one. I know I've definitely shot one, but no, I don't think I reviewed one. But if we get one in, I definitely will. What's Carl? You've had it for 2 years and never use it. Well, if you've never used it and it's sat there, send it in. I'll review it for you. I actually quite rate the Winchester shotguns, especially the SXP. It's for the money, and the SX4 as well, because it was the SX. Was it the SX4? I think it was the Toro Rosso, or I know that's an F1 racing team, but it was like Toro Rosso or Toro. I struggle with English. Never mind, whatever. Italian maybe. That actually made it in my top 5 practical shotgun videos, semi-auto practical shotgun videos, because it is a very good gun. It's incredibly fast action as well. Sorry, Alex. Ryan is not allowed an opinion on Imperial College because he goes to Nottingham, and that's very rich, Ryan, coming from you, who goes to Nottingham. I don't think you even go to the good Nottingham uni. I mean, well, I suppose you don't really need to do, go to a good uni to do physiotherapy, do you? He's training to be a doctor, but he's really a physiotherapist. 3D printed Glock frames are a thing. When do we get a Magload LBP? At some point, I'm sure. That's why. See, you guys are just so predictable. I talk a little bit about you not ribbing me, and then you go for it. You're just, who are you trying to impress? You're not big. You're not clever, especially not Ryan. Ryan, I will beat you. I will beat you. Paul's off for his dinner. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you tuning in. Alex Florence, he's a Grand Big Mac master. Yeah, I could say something very, very mean there. I'm gonna bite my tongue. But you're more of a Big Mac master than I am, that's for sure. And anyway, it's shut at the moment. What barrel length would I go for an AR-223? I mean, I would be using it for practical, so I would go pretty much as short as reasonable. That is reasonable. I mean, I have a 12-inch barrel on the Smith & Wesson 1522. 12 inches is the smallest we can go here in the UK for a rifle. So I mean, I would have to do a lot of research in terms of, for those longer, for like practical shooting, those 200 to 400 yard shots, how having a 12-inch barrel would affect that. But for the 2.2, I find having the rifle more compact, getting around obstacles and stage furniture. I mean, and it's a 2.2, like you're going maximum out to 50 yards. Yes, the longer barrel will make some bit, increase accuracy a little bit, but I think the gains to be had in having a much more compact rifle will outweigh it. That's it, Alex. The Raniero Tessa, whatever it was. No, Stephen, I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that. If Connors was here, Callum would be a grand McShare bucket of supersized nuggets. If Connors was here, no one would have any chicken nuggets, that's for sure, because Connors would have them all. My friend from Virginia sent me some pics of his newly printed Glock frame. That's cool. I mean, that's such like a thing that you can't comprehend in America, is that they can legally just print guns. Like, absolutely nothing wrong with it. You're allowed to make your own guns, the right to bear arms and all that. I mean, now that I'm a servant, although, we do want to get into making our own guns, either through Bluefield Sports or Magload. There's a few bits to sort of put in place in terms of the RFD and licensing, but it's, as soon as it's legal to do so, I wouldn't mind trying the whole 3D printed gun thing. I don't think it's ever going to make a viable product, but I think there'd be a lot to learn from it in terms of making a firearm in total. He's going to chunky when driving around the US and all those Dunkin' trips. I'm not actually a huge donut fan, to be honest. It's out in America, it's Buffalo Wild Wings. That's my weakness. Buffalo, I could eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Buffalo Wild Wings. I have a bit of a thing for chicken wings. Yeah, and the Denny's breakfast. But the thing is, you laugh about that. Well, I know you're saying you have no idea how I managed to maintain my weight when spent every day at Denny's. But when you go out to these American shooting trips, they're hugely physical. Like for the week of shooting, you get to the range at like 8-9 o'clock and you leave at 6, and you are running about all day. You are carrying and lumping and dumping and shooting and moving targets and just running about the whole day, especially if you film it, because there's when we go up to a stage, I will end up hanging out of my arse and everyone's like, oh, it wasn't that much of a run. It's like, yeah, you did the run once, I did it 10 times for the whole squad. So I end up just absolutely knackered, and I tend to actually lose weight when I go out on American shooting trips. It sounds crazy, but they're just so physical, and it's just so much exercise for that week. You actually burn a lot of it off, and you actually do need to take in a lot of calories to sort of keep up. The driving won't be hellish because we'll be in a big comfy Ford with air conditioning, and we'll go and get a big gulp and you can rub my shoulders as I drive. Ryan, I will beat you. I will. Got no problem with that. Beat your cheeks. Okay. Carl Volt, no, I haven't. Ryan should definitely be illegal. 100%. Cracker Barrel, yes, Cracker Barrel's on there. I have to go to a Cracker Barrel. That's a given. But for me, Buffalo Wild Wings, absolutely. Well, so Dweebs, you say the biggest problem with 3D printed firearms is durability. I can imagine it would be hard to make a fully 3D printed gun that would last more than one shot. So, what is a Glock? It is plastic, it's polymer. And when people think about 3D printers, do I have something to demonstrate? I do. I have loads of things. So you get loads of different types. I don't actually have... 1 minute. Bear with me 1 second. I'll grab another bit. So, there you go. Here's a bit of 3D printer lesson for you. So this part here is FDM. So squirty hot plastic. The printer that's actually behind me heats up some plastic and squirts it out and layer by layer. So you can see on it, if I get it right in the light, you can see that there's layers, right? Which gives sort of a natural weakness, because obviously it's those layers that separate. And if I really wanted to, I could crush that with my hands. So that's FDM printing. And then you have SLA printing, and SLA is high detail. So that's actually how it comes off of the printer. It actually gets printed upside down like that. And it's a resin. So you can't really see the lines in it. It is a lot more solid. But the thing about these is it's brittle. And now these are just supports, but I can just snap bits off. There you go. It's very, very brittle. However, if you do big chunky bits, and this is sneak peek, sort of working on something for myself, that's incredibly hard. Sorry, headphone users. Yes, if you really do chuck it, it's still quite brittle, but that's tough and strong. And then you get to SLS printing, and this might be familiar because it makes these. So these parts are all SLS printed. Now, if you get SLS, and SLS is powder based, it uses a laser and fuses it together. This is nylon 12, effectively. It has the same structural and strength properties as injection molded nylon 12. So if you were to print a Glock lower out of, using an SLS printer in nylon 12 powder, it would be as strong as and as durable as the well, maybe not, because Glock obviously has a very particular blend, but it wouldn't be far off. Yes, if you FDM, everyone when you say 3D printer thinks about FDM. Yes, an FDM printer is what disintegrates. With the right resin, maybe an SLA, but SLS printing, if you were to print a lower with it should be absolutely fine. There's a little 3D printer education for you. So I think the technology is there, absolutely, that you can you could print a long-lasting, reliable gun. I mean, Defense Distributed, they printed an AR and put, I think it was something like, was it like 500 rounds through it? And that was one of their earlier prototypes. And they've, it is possible. It is possible to make a quality, long-lasting firearm with SLS. It's just all of the people that are doing them at home are using a process that isn't... Oh, there's Nala. I told you she'd be back. Come on, girl. It's just like everyone that you see pictures of, they're using, they're using FDM printers. They're using, £200-300 printers off eBay, and you get similar results. I mean, the machine that prints these for Magload is, I think, like £165,000. So, it's horses for courses. You get what you pay for. We need to do a food video, but not the fast food places. Yeah, I'm up for that. Taco Bell, yeah, I like that. You guys seem to like Denny's quite a lot. I like it as well, but Buffalo Wild Wings, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, Stephen, you were out on the trip 2 years ago, weren't you? So you knew what it was like. And it was a weird heat because you were constantly boiling, but you weren't sweating because it was incredibly dry, and that's what was dangerous. Like we were, I would drunk. I think it was like 8 like similar sized bottles like that during the course of the day, whilst having fluids for breakfast. But actually out on the range, eight of these bottles, and I didn't pee until like 10 o'clock in the evening, and even then it was like a. It's just a little spurt. It's crazy. You really need to stay hydrated. I remember Wendy's. It's still out in the States. Still exists, I'm pretty sure. They've had an Arby's in Southampton for 6 months. Ooh. Thank you, David. I'll have to check that out. Honestly, I don't have an issue with food. Is that a throw lever? Yes, this is... don't worry, this isn't a Magload product. This is purely something I did for myself. Because I don't actually like the Vortex throw levers. I find them far too small. And I just cannot... And I've got small hands, right? I always say it. I've always got small diddy hands, and I just can't get on it well enough. And I really miss the big knob on the old Vortex that I had. Yeah, big knob. It's a big knob. Whatever. You're just insecure. And I used to use one of those fishing line attachments, and it was I actually used the measurement of the fishing line attachment to print this top bit, but it's a huge knob. You can get straight on that knob, play with the knob, adjust the knob, you get a good grip of the knob in your hands. it's great, you know. What more could you ask for than a big knob? It was genuinely scary at one point, hanging off the chain with like, yeah. Was that the zip line you're talking? No, 1,000 foot. Or was that the Grand Canyon? In-N-Out Burger. Oh, In-N-Out Burger all the way. Although actually in the UK, if you happen to be near a Seven Bone, hit up Seven Bone. It's like the best burger. Or patty and bun, or meat liquor in London. Patty and bun and meat liquor in London. Seven Bone is like, well, there's one in Portsmouth, Southampton, Surrey, all of that. I like a good burger. Can you tell? You were defeated by the salad in the Cheesecake Factory. Yeah, Cheesecake Factory. Yes, Mum, I do. Peanut butter milkshake at the Chocolate Factory. I love, yeah. Well, anyway, we've swiftly moved away from guns, haven't we? So let's. There's one thing that I wanted to show you guys. We were talking about. Oh God, where did this all go? We were talking earlier about Cotswold Classic Arms, and I don't know how many I shared this on English Shooting, right? But have a look at this. So this is the Battle Arms tanker rifle, and I think it's absolutely stunning. And Otto from Cotswold Classic Arms has said that they can make this in pretty much any caliber. No, it doesn't come in 303 British. I've already asked. Major ball ache with the rim of that cartridge. But I know some of you are gonna like snarl in horror at it, but I think it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a special edition made by Battle Arms to commemorate VE Day, which I'm sure you guys are all aware of. The only issue is that Otto reckons that they're going to be about £3,000 in the UK, and if you want to go for a weirder caliber, or you know, you want to go for some optional extras, it's going to bump it up. You know, I was really hoping, I was really like, I think naively optimistic that he was going to look up and go, oh yeah, they're 1,500 quid. I'd be like, ooh. But yeah, I think it's absolutely stunning. But yeah, let me know what you think. Oh, my mum just dissed it. It looks like a toy. No, it looks beautiful. It looks beautiful. But yeah, I just think, I don't know, just it tickled my fancy, you know. Callum, can you bring 12 times big knobs for scopes in October? Yep. This is actually sat on my desk for a number of months now. I've got a few design tweaks to it, but I was going to have a few made anyway. So, you know, it might appear on the Bluefield Sports website. You never know. The green and wood clash too much. No, I think it goes together really well. I really think it goes together. Five Guys just as good as... Get the fuck out, Arius. No. Five Guys is not as good as Seven Bone. No. No. You just have no taste, mate. There is no way a Five Guys... Like, Five Guys is the same price as Seven Bone, but with Seven Bone, you actually get something for that money. Anyway, we're going back to food. I think that is everything covered, and you guys... Looks like it should come with an Action Man... gripping hands in the eager eye. It looks different. I like different. It's unique, and it's a special edition. Yep, Florence, see, he agrees with me. Aris is wrong. Obviously has no taste in burgers. You should do a review. I don't think you can, you know, in terms of Alex Florence, I don't think you can review food when you inhale it. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go home and go to bed now, guys. Before we spend the next half an hour talking about burgers. I mean, I do say to you guys, like, whatever you want to talk about. We do go off on some tangents. But let me think. Before I go, let me have a look at what we've got coming up in the next week, just as a little tease. So tomorrow we've got something a little bit different. We've got a video about the Vortex Viper range and explaining all the differences between the PST, HS, HST, HSLR. So if you're a Vortex fan, if you're a scope geek, that might be pretty interesting. And Daniel will like this. A few days after that, we've got the Rail Scales versus Slate Black Industries. And actually, oh no, I don't have Final Cut Pro open because it like hammers my memory. But in edit, we've got the Point Blank Simulator video. We've got what guns can you own in the UK. That might need to be refilmed, unfortunately, because the audio had a bit of a problem. But we, it's basically that. I was talking about it last week. It was the table full of guns, and I basically go through all the different types. And it, like, other than the audio, like, really happy with the video. So yeah, it's that might be coming out soon. Obviously, I'm reviewing the MRO from Trigicon that Daniel sent down with the Scalar Works mount, and I've got various other things to film. So lots to come, lots of new videos. So if you're watching this and you're not already subscribed, then please make sure you do. Yeah, all right. Yeah, like, take the piss out of my car, whatever. It's a Honda Civic. I challenge anyone to beat it on a racetrack. There we go. Whatever. You guys can talk about. You can talk about. I mean, and Ryan as well. Is Ryan still here? No. Screw it. I mean, Ryan certainly can't talk. He drives a shoe. And Alex, you drive a Skoda. And Daniel, you're an Audi driver. Just to finish on DATV, yes, you can do target shooting on your own land. You just need to have it. You just need to have it approved, basically, for that. Ticket is being reprinted, so when that's done, I'll be down. Awesome. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. So I really appreciate you guys all tuning in, and Carl, you nutter again, Jesus. Thank you very much, and everyone else. I know Stephen as well, and Xbox. Is it Xbox Gamer? What's your username? I always forget it. But you know who I mean. And I know there was maybe one more. But everyone that stop leaving. I'm pretty sure. Yes, I've heard the GT86s are pretty fast on track, Alex. But yeah, there we go, guys. One day I'll do the video of the car, and you understand why I drive a Hot Wheels car. Night, sweetie. Night, all. Night, mum. But yeah, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button before you go. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. Really hope you've enjoyed it tonight. I've enjoyed it. It's always a laugh, even though if you do go off on a tangent. And I hope to see you soon.